In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because all of us on the panel are Masometas from the same generation, and it happens to be the best one, not because we're better than you, of course, but our movies were. They certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that Hollywood keeps pumping out of its sledge pipes on a daily basis. How's everybody doing tonight?
Well, I just watched Doctor Who, so I was good until that. I was doing very well.
Oh, baby.
That's a shame.
I watched that too. I almost forgot to watch the rehearsal. I almost forgot my treat. There was way too much homework today, or this week, I mean.
Yeah.
And,
as has been the case lately, I also did none of it this week.
Nice.
I've been binging Mission Impossible.
David pulling his own weight, and didn't even remember that I said I was going to watch Mission Impossible this week, and I wasn't going to wait. We talked about it last time, and I said, I feel like it's worth seeing week one. Darn! You forgot to watch the rehearsal again. It's going to be a sweet, soothing, chill stream tonight. We're probably going to be sneezing the whole time because Charles, are you dying of allergies too?
I am. I normally don't because in Arkansas I don't feel much, but this weekend I'm visiting New Mexico. So
I think this is like, oh, you are. You're in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the room that I built.
I was like, oh, is Charles streaming? I noticed the different. I was like, is Charles streaming from a different room? And I didn't recognize that is the bedroom that we built, and I never got to live in because I moved out by the time we finally finished making a bedroom for me.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Our house was permanently under construction. We added
still
rooms.
Is.
We added rooms up on top. We cut into some attic space and turned it into bedrooms. And I never got to use them.
Yep. There were always projects going on, and we started new projects before finishing old ones, and
Yep. It's still like that.
Yeah, I hear. I don't know what's going on, but this is real bad allergies right now. And I've been taking shots because I have massive hay fever that'll like destroy me. I almost died as a kid. My throat swelled up. I couldn't breathe. It's only gotten worse as an adult. And so for the last 2 years, I've been injecting myself with allergens like every week. Not just like on my own. My doctor is doing it. I'm not just shooting up allergens at home. Okay, the doctor told me to do it. They're prescription steroids. Got it? No. Yeah. So for the first time, like it's been working for like about a year, but this is the first time where I've felt like but it feels like everyone's suffering right now. And I've been sneezing my head off all day and blowing my nose, but I can still breathe. Can you hear that? My nose works, which has never happened before. So the allergy shots are working, and yet it's still just a really bad week. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the whole day today mowing weeds and pulling weeds, and I feel awful.
Same. Yeah, I know. I was already feeling awful, and I was like, I have to mow the lawn today. Yikes!
Oh no. I didn't do much.
I got a lot of reading done. I finished Murderbot 1 and 2. I finished another Ender's Shadow book. I've got one of those left, and then there's the ones that tie the two series together and ties the Ender sequels to the Bean sequels.
Nice.
It was a Shadow Puppets is the one I just read, and I finished Mark Clark's book, which I wanted to jump into the second one, but I have to do homework because I'm reading the Hedge Knight now, because that's coming up in a few weeks.
Nice.
And then I can read the Vor game. We got some wonderful people in the chat. We got Mark Clark, who's super excited for Murderbot. I'm all read up. Mark, do we think they're doing books 1 and 2, or is this just book 1? I'm torn because they could easily do books 1 and 2 in one season. I think that would make a solid season. And it's 10 episodes long, but they're 20-minute episodes. So every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, we could be covering a lot more, and then the episodes are so short. I feel like it's just going to be book 1. We got
really
Mark Clark.
short.
Yeah. The books are novellas. The first 4 books are really short.
Yeah.
You can read them real fast, but they're good. I like them.
Maybe I should then.
Jay Savvy asks how it feels to be the only Wheel of Time fan on YouTube who didn't sell out and was eventually vindicated. I have been taking victory laps since freaking yesterday. I'm exhausted and I need to take a nap, but the show must go on. Oh, baby. Wheel of Time is canceled.
Not the Wheel of Show, not the Wheel of Time show though.
That show
the Wheel of Time
must
not go on. Joshua's in the chat. Mark's in the chat. Okay, I haven't been reading any of the chats. Shoot.
I've seen a couple.
You're a natural blonde. Okay, I missed what we were talking about here. So, how? Okay, this is a good one. Question: how accurate is the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Okay, here's the thing. I haven't watched a single episode. I've seen the trailers. They should all be excommunicated if they're not already. I know that this stuff does happen. It doesn't happen amongst the faithful saints. You can't actually call yourself a member of the church and be a swinger. That's against our rules, and you will get excommunicated for swinging. I've heard a lot of people like the show too, and I'm tempted to should I just curiosity, what the heck is this?
I keep having my work friends. A lot of my work friends tell me it's a really good show, and so they tell me to check it out. And I'm this close to watching it, but every time I'm like, I just don't want to.
Yeah, my wife actually works as a health aide to help a young man with Down syndrome, and his sister is one of the wives.
Nice
in the show.
Wow.
Yeah, and their whole family doesn't like it either. But it paid for a trip to Disneyland, so they all went to go see Disneyland, courtesy of the show. So
yeah, Mark, I think especially after this third episode, how little ground was covered. It covers like a page of the book. It doesn't. I'm I think we're just doing season 1 this season. I think season 1 is just going to be book 1. Evening, gents. Jack R. How's it going? I won't tread on you, sir. If you get the chance, oh my goodness, another book recommendation. Thank you. Keep giving me book recommendations. I will get to them in 5 years. I'm not. I'm. It sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I do like the recommendations. I just have so much on my list already. If you get the chance, listen to Blue Moon. Blue Moon books, and then not even. It's more than one recommendation. Josh.
It's 3.
And then Hawk and Fisher if you want medieval fantasy, and if you want it. All right, you got to cool your jets, Buster. I need to finish all of the Enderverse books this year. That was my commitment, and then I mean that's not going to take very long. I'm almost done, but Boyd Jackson. I seriously think that the people that like the show are paid internet shills. They're idiots.
Or they're, or I mean, the one that I know who's really into it, he was gay, and maybe that's just the type of show he likes.
I mean, it's a really gay show, so
yeah,
maybe that's what you're into.
He's into drama. I don't know.
That's more grim than Joe Abercrombie, but also more fun. That feels like an oxymoron. You can be more grim and more fun. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, those were for Mark. Okay, got it. So I won't. Okay, I'm not going to read your dumb books. I'm sorry. Sorry, I butted in on your conversation in my chat. That's great. That's great. I like books. Need to do another book club. Trying to organize Dungeon Crawler Carl books 6 and 7. It's been like half a year since our last stream, but we all got busy with Christmas, and then they all got busy reading book 7. And kept ignoring me. I was like, "Can we stream book 6?" Like, no, I can't put the book down. So, we'll get there. Yep. Okay, we got a show. We got the Wheel of Time to talk about because it's got canceled. I've got lots of stuff on that. We've got the rehearsal, baby, and we've got Murderbot episode 3, and we've got friggin' Doctor Who.
Oh.
And is anyone still watching The Last of Us? I stopped a long time ago.
I did watch it, and
We'll get into that eventually too. What else is on the thumbnail? What there's one more show.
Rehearsal, Doctor Who, The Last of Us, Murderbot, and The Fountain of Youth, which I did not watch.
2 movies. Yeah, right, 2 movies. The Fountain of Youth, we were excited about. That dropped on Apple TV. And also, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I'm the only one who's seen it so far, so I'll give a spoiler-free.
Hopefully,
I'll give a spoiler-free snippet. Did you guys watch The Fountain of Youth?
I did not.
No.
So like, I love Guy Ritchie. It's not great.
No.
It's not terrible. It's like it feels like a kid's movie. Like it's not serious. The plot is ridiculous. It's entertaining. It's watchable. But at the same time, like it feels like it should be a kid's movie, but there's also just people killing each other left and right. Like there's a lot of shooting and death in The Fountain of Youth. And I'm like, it's written like quality wise, like a kid's movie, but it's trying to be an adult movie, and it just didn't mesh for me.
I didn't finish it.
It was charming. Like I liked all the actors in it. The plot was kind of dumb. It was kind of dumb plot. I wanted to like it more than I did. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's definitely not a great movie. It's very Guy Ritchie in like the camera style and stuff, but it's also PG-13, so it's family friendly. You know, if you're okay with your kids watching a whole bunch of people die in gunfights. They pull out a friggin' machine gun. It's great. Let's see.
Are they gory or is it just PG-13?
No, it's not gory. It's you know, it's not showing people cut in half, but like
I watched that kind of stuff when I was a kid.
Mark Clark gave us a $9.99. Charles has more of a chance of being a father in The Last of Us than Bella Ramsey, and his wife, or his fiance, is in a different country, baby.
Yep.
Dude, I totally thought he was gonna pull a Jared not giving his grandkids.
I know. That's where I thought it was going. I thought it was going to be a dig at Jared, and it was a dig at Bella Ramsey. Same thing.
He
You
must
be
have
the
lost
judge.
hope and moved on.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
What a shock. Nick Fisher, another DEI adaptation of a tried and true and tested series gets canceled. Oh, pobrecito. Yeah, I know. I'm disappointed in you, Mark. Oh, boy.
Fast.
In the midst of 7. Oh, Dungeon Crawler Carl? Yeah. It's
really good.
It has no right. It has it's such a stupid premise. It is an idiotic premise that's so well done that you forget how silly it is. And I have cried multiple times reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. Like it's so good. It's so good, and it's just battle royale except the whole planet. That's the premise. It's so man, Matt Dinman's a genius. So love me some Carl. Okay. All right, let me get
Still haven't checked it out.
because Jared, you didn't watch Mission Impossible either, did you? Okay. I'll just give my spoiler-free review, and then we'll get into news.
Yeah, it's. I had an opportunity to watch it early, but it was in the middle of the week, and my wife couldn't make that work with our work schedules. So,
yep.
I felt really let down by this movie. It's worth watching. It is worth watching this movie. When it gets to the action, when it gets to the actual stunts, those sequences are breathtaking. There's a submarine sequence, an underwater sequence that might be the best action set piece from the entire franchise. Like the sub, it was so freaking cool what they did in the submarine. I absolutely loved it. Rotating set, underwater, freaking awesome.
Well, isn't that the whole premise that this?
Yeah. That's not a spoiler. It's set up in the previous movie. They have to get to the submarine, right?
Yeah.
And there's a great action set piece after that with dueling airplanes. Okay, very reminiscent of Fallout's dueling helicopters, right? And it's Tom Cruise strapping himself to the outside of an airplane, doing insane crap. Really good. But the film is 3 hours long, and they could have easily cut out 1 hour of just people staring into the distance. The movie is a tonal mess. They tried to make it an emotional send-off for the whole series because they're saying this is the last one. We'll see if that's true. This is the last one.
And a spin-off.
What is this?
The whole tagline for the series,
isn't it?
the whole tagline for the series was like everything has led to this moment. And I wouldn't say everything. I would say they do a good job of bringing back plot points from the first and third movie and tying them into this. I wouldn't say every single choice led to this moment. No, just 2 choices from 2 of the previous films, which I actually liked. I really liked the tie-ins to those previous, like they were good. The problem was the movie wanted you to cry at the end, but it wasn't earned. It took itself way too seriously, and there was way too much. It wasn't slow-mo, but like slow shots. It felt like emotional manipulation, and I was not into it. It's got problems. Like, when you see it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Go see it. It's worth it for the action. It takes way too long to get to the action. Mark's saying, so I don't need to see part 1. Part 1 is, I actually love. I loved Dead Reckoning. Part 1. way more than this. And to be fair, Alan cries at long distance commercials. No.
But then again, Mark is Mark, and he's prone to watching and reading things out of order. So you do you, Mark.
I really like the first part much better than the finale. And then at the end they tried to like, oh, we're saying goodbye to everything, and it just didn't work. It didn't work for me. And there are some, I wouldn't say plot holes, but plot conveniences that make the movie feel cliche. And it's bizarre to say that a movie where Tom Cruise is hanging on to the side of an airplane is cliche, because that's not the part that is. It's the emotional manipulation stuff that's like, really? Like, we couldn't get better writing than this? So it was disappointing. I still liked it. It's probably my least favorite. There's 2 though.
2 is
it's probably better than Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been looking at as I've been going through and watching them all again, because
no, that wasn't a meme, Joshua. That happened in the show. She said, "I'm a dad now," and it's not even her kid.
Not her kid.
She's just
she meant
banging
it as a joke,
she's
but it
banging
wasn't
a
funny.
pregnant woman, and she's like, "That's my kid now."
Yeah, it's wild. But no, I'm going through a couple top 10 lists.
Yeah, which
on the
movie
internet.
are you on right now?
We're about to watch 4 tonight.
That's where it gets real good.
I really like number 3. I'm
Mhm.
surprised that all the lists. It's like number 2 is the worst.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the second worst. I freaking love number 3. It's really good. The
Number
only issue with it is that his fiance comes out of nowhere. Right.
That was my favorite one too. Was 3.
But the emotional beats, the story, it didn't go ham on the, oh, here's another face ripoff. Here's a face within a face ripoff.
That's
like
just
the
number
second
2.
one did.
That's
Right?
just number 2. Nested faces.
It's so stupid.
How many faces?
You're what's the Inception line that you're waiting for a train? You're waiting for a face.
Yeah.
And you don't like where that face will take you, but inside that face is another face, and you have to face it. And
that's pretty good. That works way better than it should. But yeah, no, I love the third one.
I do
really
like
good.
3. Isn't it Michael Bay?
No, it's
who is it? Who's
what's
the
his
director?
name? It's the other guy.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J.
Abrams.
Yeah.
So I think the story is good. I think the story of MI3 is really good. It's too much shaky cam, and
I would agree with you there. Yeah.
But I do like 3, and then you watch 4, 5, and 6, and you're like, ooh, these are real good though.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember which one I stopped watching. I think I've watched the first 5, but that's why I'm doing the marathon.
I've got it pulled up. Here we go. Skibbity Toilet, guys. Michael Bay's directing Skibbity Toilet, the movie.
No.
Wait, what?
This is a joke.
No, it's not a
Yeah,
joke.
No.
This is
you're
a
kidding
real
me.
thing, Charles. Skibbity Toilet, the movie.
Why are we still here?
What is
This has been
Skibbity
news
Toilet?
for
Isn't that like a
news for about a
Minecraft
month and a
saying or something?
Like, we've known this for a while. That this is
This is the first I've heard of
this.
this.
Isn't new news, but this is like the first teaser they are coming.
This
Skibbity
feels like a meme.
Well, it's probably going to be a meme of a movie,
Oh.
I
I guess I'll watch it.
I'll probably watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Morbid curiosity.
Yeah,
I
it's got
missed the internet
it's-
trend. I have no clue.
I
don't
I
think I'm
did
gonna
too.
watch it.
It's a head coming out of a toilet, and he goes skibbity toilet. Yeah, yeet yeet yeet. It's dumb.
Right, and that's
It's really dumb.
Here's
I listened to some guy and he's like, man, there is so much material to go off of right there. It's just like there's so much material. I'm gonna make a movie out of it.
That's the thing. It has evolved into like there's lore behind it now. The problem is it's not even a real meme. It's an anti-meme, right? Like it's funny because it's not funny. It's intentionally stupid and has no meaning, and then it's created meaning out of nothingness. It's stupid. It's really stupid. I think they're doing like a Backrooms movie too, which is probably a better choice of internet meme.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I would probably still prefer to watch the Skibbity Toilet movie than the Doctor Who episode.
Oh yeah, this Doctor Who episode was real bad.
I'm willing to bet 100% that in comparison, Skibbity Toilet is a masterpiece.
This episode was called Wish World. What's up, Poseidon? Or is it Fusidon? Who knows?
Fadion?
Fadion, yeah.
Yeah, there's no Sidon.
I'm dyslexic. Yeah, that's a D. Yeah, Fadion or Padion.
Fadon?
I literally read that as Poseidon.
Yeah. Close. It's missing like the half of it.
Okay. Well, I think we buried the lead a little bit too much. But,
a little bit. Let's get to the news.
Woo!
This is great. Baby. This is great.
Oh.
And there was much rejoicing.
Oh, it feels so good.
I'm frankly a little sad though. If I got to be honest, I'm a little sad.
Well, I'm sad that it wasn't a good adaptation.
I am too, but like the sad part, the saddest part is that this means that now it's never going to get adapted, or two, it's going to be forever until it gets adapted.
The problem is, honestly, the problem is that the rights are held by IWAT, and they are horrible. And Robert Jordan hated them with all of his guts. And like,
how did they get the rights?
They were that's what they do. They had to change their name because everyone hates them. They used to be called Red Dragon. No, Red Eagle. Sorry, Red Eagle Entertainment. And all they would do is buy up rights to movies from authors that hadn't, gotten a lot of money yet. So it was a smart move, and they did it right at the right time where studio executive, they predicted the market, basically, and they were right that fantasy adaptations were going to be big someday. How many dyslexic S's does it take to read a screen name? Just one. Look, if you replace the D with an S, it looks like Poseidon. Okay?
Then you don't have the D.
It was a PH. There was
There's no
you guys
PH
are making fun of my disability.
Yeah, I think that'd be Festion. Fascion.
You guys are all canceled. You're making fun of my disability. Okay?
Funny.
Martina liked MI3, yeah. Yeah, it would be a perfect movie if it weren't for all the shaky cam and all the lens flares. There's lens flares in that movie, too.
There's
like, why?
one. Yeah.
It's not even in space. JJ.
They're not egregious, though, I would say.
Okay. What was I talking about? Yeah, it makes go ahead.
Well, I was just the other part that makes it sad is like it was being adapted. It was being adapted, and there were some parts that I was like, oh yeah, that's cool to see. Oh, that's cool to see how they're doing the channeling. That's cool to see how they're envisioning the White Tower, right? And
right. What makes me sad is episode 4 because it was a glimpse of what the adaptation could have been.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm kind of like, okay, like I didn't really enjoy it as much because it just it wasn't faithful at all to the story, and it blatantly tried to mix things up on you, and you're just like, and so it wasn't faithful, and it wasn't didn't make a lot of sense. There was a lot of stuff that did not make a lot of sense, but at the same time, I'm like, there were still beautiful parts, and it was still
just one good part. It was one good part.
I mean, no, like season one, we all talked about how beautiful the channeling looked, and
the first 3 episodes we were still praising the show.
Because I had beer goggles on. Yeah. I was in the honeymoon phase. I've gone back and watched those episodes. I hate them.
I get it, but I think they're like, it still was being adapted though, right? And so that's kind of what I'm sad about, is like, now we won't see an adaptation.
That's not true. See, that's not true.
For a very long time.
No, when was the last Harry Potter movie?
2011. My childhood.
2011.
2011.
We can get another Wheel of Time adaptation. The problem is, I don't want a Wheel of adaptation right now.
Right.
A Wheel of Time adaptation right now. I want an adaptation in 10 years.
Yeah.
When we've fixed all this crap.
Maybe.
If they want to keep the rights, they will also have to keep doing something, right? And maybe they'll learn, hey, let's try and do it faithful this time. I don't think they will. I think it will take a different company coming in and getting the rights from them. But they're bad. Robert Jordan hated Red Eagle Entertainment. An animated adaptation would be fantastic. That could actually work.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people.
Honestly, the little shorts that they put
were so good.
They released alongside season 1 that gave more background than the entire first season.
Yeah, those were cool.
It was fantastic. It explained the steading. It explained the two halves of the power that was still never really explained in the show.
I don't know. I haven't heard of CB Strike.
Good.
Yeah. So we will get another adaptation if IWAT wants to keep the rights, and I think that's the worst case scenario. I think IWAT needs to die, and someone else needs to get them, and it needs to be made by someone who cares. So, and I'm fine waiting 10 years for a good adaptation of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, by then I might have finished the series.
I don't want it sooner. That's the thing. Like, I don't want Hollywood touching this. I want Hollywood to die. I want independent media to take its place, and then I want someone to make the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I agree.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Yep.
So,
but the movie was
it's sad that it's going to be a while before it happens. But the other thing is, like, what this show has proven is that there is interest for a Wheel of Time show,
right?
If it's accurate, because the season 1 premiere racked in a ton of viewership, and viewership dropped off after that first week. After that 3-episode drop, they lost over half of the viewers, and it's been steadily declining ever since. So people were interested in it. People wanted a Wheel of Time show, but this wasn't the Wheel of Time. And episode 4 isn't just praised by us. It's universally praised by the show friends, right? Yeah. The Dark friends who like the show. Even they say episode 4 was the best show, but was the best episode. Imagine what the show could have been, huh?
We're talking season 3, episode 4?
Yeah, the Ruidion episode.
Yeah, okay.
That's universally praised by show fans and critics alike as the best episode of the TV show.
Yep.
Because it followed the books. So,
you're saying episode 4 of this new season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone tackling it soon just to rub it in.
Like, we knew that there was going to be some condensing at the first, and like I think we were fine with that, right? Like, because it's a big story. You may have to condense some things.
Right. Condensing is not the problem, though. It's actively changing the character arcs to be their polar opposite. You know, it's making Matt out to be a dark friend.
It's having a scene where where Lan says to Rand, "Whatever happens, face it on your feet." That's how you become a man. And then
he's brought
in the
to his
next
knees.
scene, shoving him on his
Yeah,
knees.
Yeah, it's just blatant disrespect for the characters.
Like that, there's no way that was not intentional. It was an absolute insult.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They went out of their way to insult.
And the other thing that's good about the cancellation is Joshua can get a real job because he was fantastic. I would have loved to see him as Rand in a faithful
I liked
adaptation.
most of the casting in the show.
We can fight about that, but
yeah.
I mean, there were some that maybe more messy.
Avienda, you're right, was not.
You like that? Eula smart baby.
And
I'm
gonna
around,
teach someone willing to learn.
I agree that Perrin is not the best casting either. I didn't mind him in the first season, but
he was awful.
I actually liked Matt too. Max actor did a
the
really
replacement
good job.
for Matt was really good too, but
if
they
just
didn't murdered his character.
If they didn't turn him into a fruitcake, he could have done a good job.
Yeah,
but I really like Rand. Moraine was fine.
Yeah. If condensing was the problem, why did they keep adding their own stuff? Yeah. Well, because that was the argument that they. So we gave them for season 1. We gave them a lot of benefit of the doubt. Okay,
we did.
And then halfway through the season, you're like, okay, but you still haven't adapted any of the book. So you were lying when you said that.
Back to the book.
We had to cut.
They had adapted some of it. They had adapted some of
the
it.
first 3 chapters, maybe, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, the activism from I think she could have been a good Moraine too, but she was the wrong person for the job.
I think Moraine was great. I liked Moraine. I liked
her acting or her writing. What are you talking about?
Her acting. And
she's a good actor.
Good job as playing
Rosamund Pike
Moraine.
did a good job.
I think the like we're talking about, the stuff they added for Moraine was definitely off, but I think like Rosamund Pike did a great job at acting as Moraine. Like that's how I would envision Moraine is with her. But like I understand there's some controversy just because of her story and how much she was a focus.
And how she was
definitely not how it was.
A dark friend and evil the whole time. But
yeah. But like I think that if I was thinking of Moraine, she fit the bill.
I agree.
She could have. I think she could have made a good Moraine, and she didn't.
And I think it's mostly because of
the
writing.
But the problem was a lot of that was because of her activism outside of the show, though. Like she was pushing for a lot of those changes.
Well, I was not aware of that.
Sure. Yeah. But I think she fits the bill look-wise, and she did good in season 1.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda is the whole theme of the season. But viewership was not good. And again, these numbers are all less than this. The last 2 episodes of season 2 didn't chart either. I didn't know that. They fell off Nelson ratings as well.
And they make it cumulative, so it looks like viewership is increasing.
Well, yeah, no, it's cumulative, but
right, but that's
how cumulative works. But
right, I know, but it's deceptive because it's looking like episode 1 got this views, 2 got this views.
Not if you can read. It's not deceptive.
Yeah,
this is one of the good guys, David.
I agree. I'm saying they should have just done.
He's also got that
episode.
He's got both, David.
Okay, good job. That's what I'm looking for. That data makes more sense.
We're not beating the allegations of not having media literacy. Gosh, look,
I'm just saying. Season 1, though. The
premiere
I said immediately. It's
the premiere to the finale of season 1. That's
shocking.
Is that worse than Rings of Power? They lost a third.
Yeah.
No, they only retained. They lost 2/3. So it's about the same.
I don't know. That looks closer to like a 4th.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a spike for the finale, because usually the premiere is high and then it kind of dwindles and then there's more viewership for a finale in a typical show arc.
Did you know this show costs more than Game of Thrones? Like about double the. If we're talking about the first season,
the entire run of Game of Thrones, or
no. By the end, they were by the end of the show, it was 15 million per episode, I think, for Game of Thrones. But for season 8, they were getting about 10 to 12 million per episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Costumes sucked.
I will say I wasn't seeing as many sets being reused though. At least I didn't feel like they were being reused. So
that's true.
In season 1, where
no. So these last seasons,
right?
Season
Like,
1 and season 2,
right? Because they just spent the whole time in the desert. Yeah. There are only 2 locations for the season. There's the White Tower. There's 3. There's White Tower. There's 2 rivers, and there's the desert. That's it.
There's Tanchico.
Yeah.
Oh crap! There's Tanchico. Right.
Yeah.
The hills are
Tanchico
my
didn't actually look
boobies.
like our logo, you know.
The hills are my boobies. Hey.
You had it up. That's so funny.
Well, David sent it to me.
Yeah. Perfect transition. Did you watch the interview or read it?
No, I didn't read this crap.
So, to be fair, this is the composer. He wrote the music behind it. He was handed lyrics and say, write music to it. The music is actually pretty decent.
I was gonna say
it's kind of catchy, right?
The lyrics are balls.
The lyrics are so bad. And in this interview, he goes on and talking about how clever he thought the lyrics were.
The balls of
he specifically
mentioned
where 1 is not enough and 3 is too many. That just I'm like, are you listening to yourself? Like, it didn't make any sense. So I even commented on the video.
What does he say about that line?
He said that it was the super deep innuendo, and he said it referenced the statues in Tanchico that they mentioned or something like that. And I'm like, they just barely.
What the heck?
What's going on, bro?
I'm trying to find it.
Oh, okay.
Not enough.
Yeah.
So the excuse is it's supposed to be referencing the IDOM bands. It'll bring a man to his knees.
That's not what he said in the thing. They said it was there was some statues or something in Tanchico.
That's a statue of the IDOM.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
I saw some of the slight double entendres, but that's not a double entendre. That's a single entendre.
Right.
It only makes sense if you're talking about the statue. It doesn't make sense if you're talking about boobies.
Yeah.
The definition of double entendre is it has to make sense twice. That's why it's called double entendre.
Different contexts.
1's not enough and 3's too many. Also, having a third IDOM would only help. It wouldn't be too many. It doesn't even make sense in 1 entendre.
Yeah.
But to bring a man to his knees, my balls of Tanchico.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, that was basically it. He's just, praising the song and talking about how it is.
I can spell entendre because I'm looking at it right now. If you asked me to, it would take a couple tries.
Yep. Definitely need a spell check on that one.
I love how they act like Amazon ran out of money instead of it not making money. Yeah. No, yeah, you should definitely watch the celebration stream on the White Cloaks channel that we had yesterday. It was 5 hours long. Wow. Most of the panel was drunk by the end of it.
Oh my goodness.
And it got out of control at the end. But yeah, there were some memes. People were saying there was a meme of someone saying it was Amazon, and behind them was a closet door, bursting with money, and they're like, "Sorry, we have to cancel the show. We ran out of money." And you're like, no, okay. So those are 2 different things. Amazon has money, and the Wheel of Time show is making money. Okay. How do you think Amazon got to the point where they have a lot of money, David?
Selling stuff on Amazon.com.
Okay. Well,
predominantly.
Well, also by not wasting it.
Yes, that's true.
The reason that they have money is because they don't waste their money on things that don't have a return. So them canceling the show is why they have money. They're not canceling the show because they ran out of money. They're canceling the show because it wasn't making them money. You idiots. Yep. Dane was sloshed by the end of the show. It was so funny. And we got into a big argument about the name of the wind, and it was so funny.
Oh, really?
It was so funny.
Name of the wind came up? Oh, I wish I would have seen that.
You can still watch it. Just
I know, but 5 hours? I don't know if I'm willing to come up 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because you have to have 2 entendres. One's not enough. 3 is too many. Dude, I've written triple entendre before. I can't remember what the line was, but it was awesome. Triple entendres. Almost impossible. I'm not going to read this crap. Did you? Yeah. Do I need to?
No, that was basically it.
Okay, screw that.
But I will say he did a good job composing the actual music.
I think the actual music itself is fine. It's a catchy tune. I don't think it's really appropriate, for like a tavern song. It's more, but it's fine. It's not the worst. It's not the worst.
It's all right.
The bolt of lightning. What is this? The most. Oh, they're. Other shows are getting renewed, but ours is getting canceled, and there's snooze fest with just people talking. We were supposed to have
getting renewed.
We had just sent 100,000 emails asking them to renew it, and they had the audacity to cancel it. We were in the middle of asking them to not cancel it. I can't remember why I brought this up.
It's just,
was it one of the comments? No, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're literally one of the comments on yesterday's show. I kept pulling up bad tweets while we were running, and one of them was, it was literally what I just said. They're like, how dare they cancel the show when we were still filing our petition? Like, we weren't done yet. We were getting more signature. You're like, do you think you even register on their radar? Like, how do they have the audacity to cancel the show when we were still getting signatures? So the Watt subreddit had, this is before the cancellation, they had updated their rules, their terms of, you weren't allowed to complain about nepotism or you'd get banned.
Wow.
Like it's not a legitimate criticism, Oh, hey, we just got raided by the Prophet of the Dragon who was streaming.
Hey.
He was apologizing. We moved the show, Steve. If you're watching, our show used to be on Sundays, but we've been streaming on Saturday for like a month. So it was not you have permission to stream over me anytime you want. There's we know too many YouTubers to not step on people's toes occasionally. It's totally fine. How's it going? Yeah, we are celebrating. Here, since everyone just tuned in, we got to play the stinger again. Here we go.
And there was much rejoicing.
Bottoms up, boys.
Out of curiosity, are the other guys on the panel hearing the stingers? Because I haven't heard the audio.
It's going through on YouTube. It just says, and there was much rejoicing.
If you're joining us on mobile and you're a part of the stream, it'll cut out the audio when you play.
Even on my desktop, I don't hear any of the stingers.
Hey, Gadfly, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, he was streaming tonight too. He started like an hour before we did. I didn't know what was going on. It just started playing on my phone. Well, I think you got redirected from the Prophet stream. So,
yeah.
If that's, I'm sorry if you're against your will. Consent is important, I guess. Yeah. So nepotism, we already talked about this. I didn't hear this, but this goes all the way back to season 1. Rafe Judkins talking about developing the show. Had any of you seen this before?
No.
Well, thanks to Steve for bringing it to my attention. This is a quote. He said, "We wanted to make Machin Shin." You guys know what that is?
The Black Wind.
The Black Wind from the Ways. Okay, it's because Mashadar is the one that's in Shadow Logoth. Machin Shin. Yeah. There's 2 black clouds that are bad. Mashadar is the one in Shadow Logoth, the one that's made out of pure evil, and Machin Shin is the one that just like eats you up. That's in the Ways.
Go insane, yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Steve, this is yours. This is your tweet. I didn't find the quote. I don't know where this came from. So it's absolutely insane. He wanted to make Machin Shin the camera, the lens through which we see the world, because it's a compelling character that has no words. It's just
not
an
a character,
entity.
it's a force. Yeah.
And FX Cloud brings so much to it. In the books, it's more mysterious, but we wanted to open it up a bit and give the audience someone to latch onto as they enter into this massive world. He has not read the books. Like,
did that sentence mean anything? I don't understand what he was trying to say. It sounded like a word salad.
Yeah, it is a word salad.
It's
and we
also
have read the books.
insane because if this were a character that could be the camera lens, it's trapped inside the Ways that only come up in the first book and a little bit in the third. No.
Second.
In the second book. Mm-hmm. And then after the first 4 books, they stop using the Ways entirely.
Yeah, teleport everywhere.
And then, technically at the end of the series, Machin Shin leaves the Ways. I don't want to spoil things for David. But this is we're going to experience the world through a character that can't see the world.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's the first, second, and fourth. Yeah, I was going to say fourth, and I forgot that they go back in the second. Thanks, Gadfly. Yeah. And then it's mentioned, but they don't go into the Ways really ever again after that.
Well, the second one, they don't actually go into the Ways. They try to go into the Ways, and the Machin Shin is waiting there at the doors.
Got it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
But they developed the character all right into a herd of locusts that tell you truths. So spooky.
Yeah.
Machin Shin should be Moraine. That's what it turned into. We're gonna turn the whole show about Moraine.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You assume this was altered? It's a real quote. So yeah. Rafe's quote sounds like a porn.
Well, if you read his treatment for season 1, episode 1,
it was.
He wanted it to be a porn.
Thanks, Mark Clark.
I also missed the next.
Someone, Prophet donated a bunch of memberships.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. You're awesome, man. If you're a new member, hopefully I'll actually have some members-only videos this month. So, insects instead. I will try and find the quote. Yeah. I'd never heard of that until you posted this. I was like, this goes back to season 1. That's crazy. What an idiot. This is great too. Thanks to not Dane, Aldan for sending these my way. For putting these on my radar.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely fantastic. Let's see, he's Perrin. He's I probably the false dragon, not Logain.
Logain?
Not Logain. The other one.
The other.
I can't remember his name.
I can't remember. I just read the book. I can't remember.
Past or the
at the same time as Lorraine?
Huh?
I don't remember.
There was one before Logain. And he's in charge of the
Mazarine Time.
Mazarine Time. Thanks.
Yeah.
Is he the one that ends up teaching him how to use the?
Yeah, Mazarine Time. And we got him as Rand, and that's not Matt. That's
Tom. Is that no?
Well,
Yeah.
it's either Tom Maryland or Jane Farstrider.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I think Jane's the one that opens the tower, and that's no, because that's the cloak. That's the cloak. So he's Jane.
Yeah, I was
He's Jane
gonna say.
Farstrider.
Yeah.
Who is this? Who's facing
Sorry,
me?
that's a minor spoiler. That's a.
I'm looking at my phone.
This is Rafe
This is,
Judkins' boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
He
He's
cast him in the
every
show,
character.
and his character was supposed to die, and he was like a main character this last season, and everyone else died except him. it was ridiculous.
Yeah, they killed off the Black Warder, who's supposed to be alive in the books, to keep Rafe's boyfriend in the show. So,
Yep.
I can never remember his name. The Black Warder. It was Maxim and the black guy. So, Lord Luke was saved by lack of screen time. I'm shocked that he was in the show at all. That Lord Luke was in the episode. And then completely ignored Ivan. Thanks. Yeah. No. Yes, that's his screen name. I forgot. He doesn't go by Jane. Sorry, a minor spoiler for David. He's gonna forget by the time he gets there. He just restarted. He started over.
Started over. I got
the
to
last book he read. The last
and
book he read was Lord of
forgot.
Chaos, which he finished it like a year ago.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can't remember what happened, so I'm going to start over from book 1 instead of continuing from Lord of Chaos.
Book 4. I'm blowing through them. I just started book 4, the Rising Slog.
Impressive.
The Rising Slog.
The
Book
Rising
4 is
Shadow.
not the slog, baby.
Yeah, isn't that one this, or is it beginning of 5? That's the slog?
Some people
I don't
say
remember.
it starts with the Crown of Swords. I don't think that one's a slog though. It's usually Path of Daggers through the Crossroads
No,
of Twilight.
I mean I don't
4
think was
it
the one
starts
that they're in the ways for, or not in the ways, in the Aiel waste for.
David, you never got
most
to
of
the
the book.
slog, okay?
Okay.
You quit before you got to
They
the
got to the
actual
mini
slog.
slog. Okay.
The only slog for me is 10. Yeah, honestly, it was a lot sloggier when you had to wait for each book to come out. I read them all together, and the slog did not affect me as much. But yeah, Crossroads of Twilight is tough. That one's pretty slow. Off to work. No, don't apologize, man. We used to stream on Sundays, and now we do Saturdays. It's never a problem
No worries.
to stream. So
Okay.
have a great night. Have fun at work. Thanks for the raid. It's been wonderful. David, did you send me this one? Because I didn't read it.
Oh yes.
Only
I did.
Brandon Sanderson could invent a sword that needs therapy.
And unfortunately, they changed the
The title or the subtitle?
because both.
Take care of your shard blade, and it will take care of you. Okay. Well, so
It-
what you do?
it was something-
sometimes if you check the URL, it'll have the original title in there, but that's not the case.
No,
this
it's
time.
not. No, it said something like Brandon Sanderson made a sword that needs therapy, and it made it better, or something like that. Or I don't know, it was something along those lines.
Interesting.
I
Is
didn't
this in the book 5?
Yeah, I didn't read the article because I haven't read book 5 yet, but I thought I'd send that to you.
Well,
And,
here's the thing. Matt isn't in Path of Daggers, and that one is significantly less sloggy than Crossroads of Twilight. So, anyway, what did we need to read this, or is it just the headline that's funny?
I didn't read it.
Oh, okay. Well, we got too much
thought
to
you
talk
might like
about,
it.
baby. All right. Let's skim real quick. I mean, it's just going to be talking about the book. I don't think it's going to have anything interesting to say other than the title, right?
I would assume so. This is referring to book 5, right?
I mean, the
Where-
Stormlight Archive, but yeah.
Okay.
Nightblood needs therapy. Yeah, that was the worst part of the book, was Nightblood therapy. Gross. I guess it could also be talking about Adolin and his sword. Oh, we lost David. That's what happened.
I think that's what
I was asking him a question, and I turned around and looked at my screen, and he's gone. So how many of us are going to Dragonsteel Nexus this year? So I might exhibit again. I've applied to be an exhibitor. Haven't heard back yet. So I'll
When
be
is
there.
that?
That's in December.
I was gonna say.
I will let you know the
just
second that whether or not I'm going or not. But I guess the registration is different this year, where you have to sign up for a newsletter and then you'll be given an opportunity to. It's to prevent scalping and to prevent the issues last year. Yeah, I'll plan on going. I'm not really interested in the book this year though, but I'm just going because that's what I do. Anyway, yeah, Wind of Truth sucked. What a disappointment. Okay, news. The Bear season 4, baby.
I heard it was announced, but I hadn't seen anything for it yet.
The Bear season 4. There's a trailer, June 25th, and I didn't know. I didn't realize this, but I went back and checked. Look at this. Oops, too far. We've gone too far.
I don't know what you're trying to do, man.
4 years running, they have had the season release in June, 1 year apart.
Yeah,
this is how you make TV. This is how you make TV, guys.
Wow.
You can't wait 3 years between seasons. And this is during writer strikes too.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, there's not a whole lot of CGI. It's
right. Okay. Yes, granted. There's practically no CGI. I'm sure there's stuff in the background like matching city stuff, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need CGI, but the writing of this show is so good. That's what's going to take the most time.
Yeah.
And they still managed to get good writing 4 years in a 3 years in a row. We don't know if the writing is good for season 4, but if you haven't watched The Bear, it's probably the best drama on television, and it's about cooking.
I watched the first episode.
What?
It's very interesting. I watched the first episode this week, and I don't know if it's my type of show. I don't know if I'd get into it, but it looks.
Well,
very
I didn't
capable.
think it was my type of show either, but
Okay,
it's just so intriguing.
If you want to know what The Bear is about, it's this. It's
that's accurate.
I love that. It's so good though. And here's the thing.
It's a drama about family and mental health.
Yeah.
That's pretending to be a cooking show.
Yeah. And Charles, the thing that's interesting about the show is that it's very hard to watch the first couple ones because literally all they're doing is yelling at each other and swearing and cussing and freaking out. But then you get to the depth of it all and you're like, this is so emotionally appealing to see how they change and develop through these emotions.
And I remember,
and it's not just the acting and the writing. The cinematography for the show is breathtaking. They do some really experimental stuff with the camera work. It's so good.
It's true. And
I might give it another shot.
There's a character that you absolutely hate the first couple episodes.
Oh yeah, for the first season. For the first season.
I was going to say you get better in the second.
Is it the full?
You hate him for the entirety of season 1, and then he's your favorite character for the rest of the show.
Then there's one particular episode that it was like, holy freaking crap, you're gonna make me like this douchebag.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's so good.
It really is more about the journey than it is about the individual
destination.
episodes.
Journey before destination.
Yeah,
Fadion watched all 15 episodes.
It's kind of hard to watch, but it's the journey and the growth that is so compelling about it.
Oh, I hard agree. The Knife of Dreams is, I think, one of the best Wheel of Time books. So I've never felt a slog. It's all for you. I think I enjoyed Winter's Heart, but it's the sloggiest of the slog is absolutely Crossroads of Twilight. That one's tough to get through. Did we lose Jared completely? The Pit's the best show I've heard. It's a good drama that's also plagued by wokeness, but it's still watchable.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched the first episode of The Pit with my wife, and
enough people have recommended. I'll probably watch the first episode too.
I want to see episode 2 to see if it follows up on everything, but it just seemed like episode 1 was just pure chaos, which I get. It's an ER operating room thing, but it didn't resolve anything. It just moved on from one thing, didn't complete anything, moved on to the next one.
And it completes.
It's kind of crazy.
So it'll continue to kind of come back on patients that you see in each episode. Because they're still there, right? So like a lot of times
I watch ER
it's an hour of the shift. Yeah. And so literally, someone could be there for hours on end, and so it's like, okay, like they check in on this patient,
they should call it the shift, not the pit.
That makes more sense. But yeah, we watched the first episode of the ER, which is an older show that the Pit is based on, clearly inspired by, and it was really good. The first episode of
Pedro Pascal was making out with which Skarsgård? I saw the clip of Pedro Pascal with Joaquin Phoenix at Cannes, or they have some dumb movie about Trump. It's like a Western, except it's making fun of MAGA. And it was Joaquin Phoenix was waving to the crowd. And Pedro Pascal pulls his arm down saying, no, you're not allowed to do that. It'll look like a Nazi salute. And he just looks at him and is like, okay, and switches to his other hand and waves to everyone because he's like, you're an idiot, Pedro. I love Joaquin
David, apparently, I think the main actor might also be in ER as well.
Gotcha.
But
I do like that main actor. He was
drama.
He was in Falling Skies.
He's also in Leverage, I realized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in the new seasons of Leverage.
Huh.
But this reason right here, like it's really realistic from what I hear.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my brother and he was like, "Yep, that's basically how it goes in the ER. Like this is the show that's how it works."
I'll try it. There's a lot of homework right now, but for the show, but yeah, I'll check out maybe the first episode.
But the thing that I liked about it is that like, yes, so you can always talk about these medical shows. There's always a lot of unnecessary drama, and there's a little bit of drama in there. Like you make a show, and there's always going to be some drama because they want people to watch it. But
Evil's Bane's back.
What I appreciated about this particular show is that like it goes through and you start to understand like and appreciate what these people are going through and how they try to work through the situations. Right? Because there's some crazy stuff like you already saw in season, like the first episode, but it just starts to sort of compile and compound and you're like, how are they going to get through this? And then it starts to kind of show how they start to try to deal with it and handle it, and it was very inspiring, very authentic.
I never watched Falling Skies. I know a lot of people liked that show, but never got into it.
I agree.
Someone sent me this.
The last season kind of did go off a cliff, but
Severance chick is in the new Avatar series. I don't care. I think the show's horrible, but she's a great actress, so good for her.
Yeah.
So
they're doing another one. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it's getting seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah. Okay. So it was approved for those. Okay.
Yeah. This is fun news. Mark Millar, comic guy.
Yeah.
Really good writer.
Yes.
Is going to be announcing big movie news next week.
Okay.
Followed by 2 more adaptation announcements.
Huh.
Nice.
I'm excited, and I assume it's his own comics, like his if it's him making the announcement, it's not going to be any of his stuff with Marvel. It's going to be his Miller World, his own comic book universe, what have they adapted? So Wanted, that movie where they bend bullets, that was one of his.
Yeah.
The other, I know that he got his
Kick-Ass is apparently his.
Yeah, Kick-Ass is Miller World as well. And I know he got like a Netflix show about one of his spin-off one of his comics about like American Jesus or something like that. I never watched that. I don't know if that was good or not. I never read the comic either though, so
Yeah.
so the big ones that most people know, like Nemesis is pretty big. That could be a pretty fun movie if they did Nemesis, or if this is like a cinematic universe, it could be leading up to his, because he just last year. Oh, Jupiter's Legacy, the TV show was also his, and that show kind of sucked. Right. So he's gotten a few adaptations. I know and his comic book universe is kind of tied together. He just last year had one where they all met up. It was a big game, had like all of everyone fighting each other. So they could be doing something like that. But I think Nemesis is probably the biggest comic that most people know about that hasn't been adapted. That either that or the Magician series. What was it's not the Magicians. It's
could be some of his side stuff for DC though. He's written a couple.
Right, but then why would it be him announcing it? Why not DC announcing it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What's his
Magician
Magician
series?
series?
One for
It's called
the Rippaverse.
No, not yet. I don't think so. Not yet. Maybe he's working on one. I can look it up.
Or maybe he did
The Magic Order. The Magic Order. Oh, yeah, right. Kingsman is him as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's gotten a lot of adaptations, and they're very popular. Probably. I can't remember everything he's done, but so this is gonna be fun. He's a cool guy. He is not woke, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these 3 live action announcements are. My guess is I think it's gonna be a Nemesis. Yeah.
Perhaps.
That's my guess. I mean, Magic Order would actually be pretty cheap to make too. You could do that pretty easily. But he's got some real popular stuff.
I'm getting Mark Miller confused with Mike Miller. He's the other lesser known. He's the one that did the drawing for Shadowversity's book.
Yeah. And the Hedge Knight and
yeah. They're both good though.
You got to put the S in too.
Yes.
Mike S. Miller and Mark Millar. Mark Millar did a lot of the writing for the Ultimate Marvel.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Super good guy. I hope they're good. The bad guy, the villain, is not appearing in the Lilo and Stitch remake.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
What?
Which is a weird choice. I have to go take my kids to see it on Tuesday. So I will let you know next week.
My fiance is watching that today.
What I've heard from it is that they split some characters into 2 characters. They combined some characters together, and it's not terrible, but it doesn't have the heart of the original, which is kind of par for the course for these live action remakes.
Yeah.
But nothing. I haven't heard any, woke stuff or terrible.
This is the first one that my kids have wanted to watch, though. They've been saying, "Can we please go see the Lilo and Stitch movie?"
It looked good from
honestly,
what I've seen.
This is the one where I heard that they were making a live action remake, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense for Lilo and Stitch. I think that could work.
Let's take out the bad guy, though.
But yeah, that doesn't. Yeah.
I also already know some spoilers from the ending that I know I'm going to hate. Do you want me to spoil it?
No.
Or do you want to be surprised by the ending that I'm going to hate?
I mean,
I think
I'm probably not going to see it in theaters. But...
Okay,
yeah,
I'm letting it slip. This has been confirmed by people who've seen the movie. What's her sister's name?
Nani.
Nani, at the end of the movie, gives up custody of Lilo and leaves her in an orphanage.
What?
So that she can pursue her own career. Yes, that's the ending of the movie.
What?
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
That doesn't make,
What?
that doesn't make any
Is that
sense.
your wife in the background saying
That
what?
was my wife in the background saying what?
Oh my goodness.
The line is like, oh, we need they don't even use I don't know if they don't use Ohana, but in the line that from the ending that I've seen, they're not using Ohana. Instead of Ohana, she's like, but what about Ohana? Family. She says, like, what about obligation? There's another Hawaiian word for like obligation, responsibility. She's like, but Lilo's my responsibility. And then some woke idiot tells her, yes, but it's also your responsibility to not give up on yourself. And then so she gives up custody of Lilo and goes off to college or whatever.
That's weird.
That is really weird.
Wow.
I'm really interested. I'm really intrigued what my fiance will say because she literally watched the original this week. She'd never seen it before, and she watched it so that she could watch the live action today. And I'm really intrigued what she'll think.
We're gonna play a game called "Is this a good take or a bad take?" Because I have not read this. I read the headline and thought, what could this possibly be talking about?
Yeah.
What is the wrong lesson? First off, you shouldn't be teaching lessons to your fans. You should be telling them stories. So I think this is going to be a bad take.
Yeah.
That's my vote. And my reasoning.
I didn't even realize it was teaching the fans. I thought it was saying it taught Disney the wrong.
No. Andor taught the fans the wrong lesson, and it's extremely concerning, guys. My gut tells me this is a bad take.
I think you're probably right on this one. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet.
Are we all in agreement?
Yeah, that's what my gut
I'm thinking.
Good, then it is agreed. Let's move to the gold standard. Star Wars fans are putting all their eggs in the Tony Gilroy basket. Is that the lesson? What?
What depends on what you mean by a melting pot. If you mean we need to have more female writers because yay power.
It was good because it was dark. I think that's what they're saying. I think usually you can tell what it is by just reading the headlines. We might have to actually read the words. But this is so much. I think what they're saying is it was dark, and that's why it was good. No, it was good because it was well written, not because it was dark.
Yeah.
Naturally, this pushed fans. Okay, it was the best. Okay, so they liked it, and that's a problem. Because...
Well, no, so Tony Gilroy says he leaned away from the Force-sensitive shenanigans in favor of a personal story about the realities of rebellion, right? Like, about the story, though. It's like...
What? These people are idiots, sorry.
Yeah, the compromise kills, yada yada. Gilroy proved it was an outlier. Fans have been urging to make more content.
He's no intention of continuing the universe. Because you can't. Right. Sorry.
Is that literally it?
I don't know.
That taught fans the wrong lesson because now they want more, but there can't be
like
more.
The whole. Remember the theme of the movie Ohana meets family and nobody gets left behind? Yeah, I know.
Seriously.
Except when you need to leave them behind, because you're selfish, then that's okay. I don't really care. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is a bad take. Star Wars works best as a melting pot. What? Oh, okay. So this was one person's vision that made it a good thing, and the reason that the original trilogy was good is because George Lucas was reined in. Is that what they're saying?
That's what it looks like.
Maybe.
They let Tony Gilroy do whatever he wanted. That's what they're saying. They gave Tony Gilroy the reins, let him do whatever he wanted, and it turned out to be good. But that's not the reason that the original trilogy was good. It was the people collaborating with George Lucas and telling him what was good and what was bad. And that's why the prequel series sucked, because it was George Lucas doing whatever he wanted.
I mean, there is something to be said about that, but what the alternative that they want is writers' rooms that do everything as a group. And you still had George Lucas being the showrunner. He was the man, and everybody else said, no, this doesn't work, you should change this.
Right.
But he was still the guy.
I'll take the prequels over the sequels any day.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and call this one a bad.
Screen Rants. Bad takes.
There we go. Judgment has been rendered.
Oh. There we go.
It's so wordy too. I don't want to. That's what a. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't. Just wait. I can't believe the MCU just perfectly nailed the Hulk story in Thunderbolts without him even so much as being. Without him being so much as referenced. This is the it's the worst.
What that is supposed to mean?
What?
I did read this one.
Red Hulk, right?
This is the worst title. Like, so clickbaity. It's so stupid. Yeah. What they're saying is, in Thunderbolts, the story that they told about the Sentinel. I haven't seen the movie. I think it's Sentinel. The story that they told about Sentinel is the kind of story that we want to be told about the Hulk. That's what this article is saying.
Huh.
Except that they're retarded. And they're saying they just nailed the Hulk without him being in the movie. Yeah. Or, hey, just say, hey, can we get a Hulk movie like Thunderbolts? That should be... Same.
Why do we have people writing these articles if they don't mean anything?
With Fadeon, it's clickbait. They want us to click on it, and we fell for the trap. But that's my thing. That's what I do. I call people out for their stupidity. Yeah. I enjoyed Andor. I probably still won't feel the need to rewatch it. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I think it's a good sci-fi. I think it's bad Star Wars. It only felt like Star Wars in the last 2 episodes, and I was like, oh, okay, that's where this ties into Star Wars. And the first half of season 2 was boring. Yeah, that's what they're. Hey, Sentinel is the story that we should have given to the Hulk. Wow. Great. You're an idiot. I'm convinced that the DCU's Superman being weak proves how much James Gunn understands the character. Yeah. You sent this one to me, right?
Did. Yes, I did. Do you wanna guess?
No.
The reason why he's showing him being weak is because Superman is human.
But he's not.
It shows his human side. It shows that he understands that Superman is trying to be a human, and it shows his humanity.
It shows his humanity.
That's literally his freaking point. No,
because
the point of Superman is that he is a god. Basically,
yeah. Alien, this demonstrates that James Gunn does not understand the character, and neither do you. The whole character is he is an outsider. He does not belong. He is a god amongst men, and yet he still learns love. Right? Like, the whole thing is he could be God if he wanted to, and instead he chooses to protect.
Right. That's the whole thing. And yes, you can struggle with finding the quote unquote humanity, learning to be more human, right? But him showing that he's weak and he's broken doesn't prove that he's human. That makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense, David. What are you talking about?
Apparently
James Gunn understands the character.
Do tell.
The moments of vulnerability where he needs other humans to help him and push him forward, that typify the hope in humanity, and Superman stands for. No, okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He doesn't need help, but he chooses to help anyway. It's with great superpower comes super responsibility. Okay. Superman is the Spider-Man of the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or he's the Iron Giant.
Thematically, not like equal in power, right? They serve the same purpose. Superman is Spider-Man.
In a way, yeah.
Wow. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then see, look at that.
That's the point of Superman!
Yeah. That's this whole
Your
whole
main
thing.
problem with
Trying to
Superman
fit
is
in.
the very essence of his character?
He just doesn't like Superman. And that's fine if you don't like a character, I guess. It's just not for you, but don't change the whole purpose of the character.
The whole porpoise?
Okay, all right, yeah.
$4.99. Sorry, you didn't have any Sydney Sweeney casting for you this week. Actually, no, I didn't. I have one. I just saw a trailer. It was she's got an Apple TV show coming up with because when I was watching Fountain of Youth, it came up. She's going to be in an Apple movie or show. I can't remember what it is, but it's like some kind of drama where she goes on like a Tinder date and accidentally kills him, and they have to cover it up. Like, well,
Interesting.
I don't know. It looked like a fun.
Okay.
It's Sydney Sweeney, so there you go. I got a Sydney Sweeney for you, Mark Clark. So I got you covered.
We're looking out for you. Yeah.
It's tough, and people don't know how to write because he's so OP. That's the thing.
Right.
Like you don't challenge Superman. You don't challenge his strength. You challenge his morality, right? You put the people he loves at risk. You put him in situations where he can't save everyone, and he has to choose who he's going to save, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and you still can challenge his strength with you
challenge
kryptonite,
his brains.
Yeah.
People don't know how to write Superman. Here's the thing: you don't need to know how to write Superman. Just adapt a comic that's already been written about Superman.
Yeah,
that's true.
Just Google what's the highest selling Superman comics, and then just put that on the screen. You don't need to do any writing. You don't need writers, Hollywood. You need editors.
Yep.
Thanks, Amanda. You got my back, babes, like Doctor Who would say. Gosh, I hate Doctor Who so much.
Speaking of
Babs. He called the bad guy babes in not this episode, last week. He's like, hey, babes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I hate him so much.
Yeah, I do.
Every regeneration in of Doctor has their true companion, and Belinda Chandra is clearly the 15th Doctor because she
because they both colored, baby.
I don't care.
Because they're both of color.
Yeah.
She has no personality. Like, she's been in a few episodes, and her whole thing is, please get me home. Like, she hasn't actually done anything this season.
That was the problem with...
Ruby Sunday was better, and I hate both of them. So...
Yeah. That was the problem with the last Doctor's companions, too, is that they had no personality. They gave them, like... Each of them had one, like, weird personality quirk that only came up when it was relevant to the plot, and then it was completely forgot otherwise. It was not good.
Jeez, this episode, man. Disbrew brought up a great point. The reason that they keep bringing... Do you remember when they did the reboot? They're like, this is season 0, right? This is... They call it season 1 and season 2, and their whole selling point was... It's a continuation, but it's also a reboot. And what we're going to do is we're not going to reference anything from the past, so that you can pick it up from here without having. They're trying to get a new audience, so that you didn't have to do all of your homework and watch every episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And since then,
that
was determined to be a lie, because since then, all they've done is bring back villains from the past.
Yeah.
Right? The newest villain is the Nani or whatever. What's it's so stupid. The Ronnie. It's the Ronnie or something. It's a female Time Lord.
Yeah.
It's a time lady, which is hilarious. She calls herself a time lady, which means
that there's a difference between a Time Lord and a Time Lady.
Time Lords are gendered.
Yeah.
So what happened to the last? How come Doctor Who was a lady? If he's a Time Lord, how come he changed into a lady? Russell T. Davis. If there's Time Lords and Time Ladies, how come we got a lady doctor? You didn't think about that, did you? Because you're an idiot. Unfortunately, the Eurovision episode did get it bumped up. It's still not great, but it. Let me pull it up. Doctor Who consolidated ratings. Auto completes because I've looked it up so many times. So it got the Eurovision episode got a slight bump. It's the best performing episode of the season. It's still
not great.
The worst, the worst performing Doctor Who, since its inception. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's the best this season. And I think it kind of makes sense. They really advertised this episode. And I think people saw that and like, they're doing a Eurovision episode? Okay, what the crap is this? And they watched it and it was garbage. So I think we're going to see a sharp drop off. And if not, after this episode, the finale is getting 0 views because this episode was trash. Charles, you watched it. I watched it.
I did watch it.
They brought back the Ronnie, who also the lady that's been breaking the fourth wall this whole time. She bigenerates.
Yeah.
So there's 2 of her, except they stay together and they're working together. It's the Ronnie, and this episode, her whole plan. I kid you not. This episode felt like I was watching that stupid show that David's wife likes, Once Upon a Time.
Oh.
My wife
yeah.
I thought. What's it?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to.
I'm
watch
sorry,
Once Upon a
Martina,
Time.
if I'm slandering your name. I thought you watched Once Upon a Time.
We watched it together and we.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
finish the
David
second
watched it. I'm sorry.
the second. Season.
I'm sorry, Martina. I didn't realize it was your husband that was a cuck.
We watched it together. We both stopped watching season 2 because it was dumb.
This episode feels like an episode of what's it called? I just said it.
Once Upon a Time.
This episode feels like an episode of Once Upon a Time.
It does.
So
it really does.
It's about magic. It opens up, and Ronnie's plan is she found the 7th son of a 7th son, and it's a little magical baby, and every time she kisses it, it gives her a wish. And she uses that to take over the world.
What?
If you kiss the baby, if you kiss the 7th son of a 7th son, it gives you a wish. Well, what's actually really hilarious is the episode starts off with a flashback of her kidnapping the 7th son of a 7th son, stealing the baby, and then turning his entire family into she disintegrates the mom, turns her into flowers, turns the dad into like a goat, and turns all the kids into like frogs, whatever. Whatever it was. I can't remember the specific animals. Bunnies, rabbits, I don't know. Kidnaps the baby and then walks away saying, "I have big plans for you in a year." Because that was a flashback. Because the previous episode, the Eurovision episode, ended with her starting her plan. So the cold open to this episode happened 1 year before. Got it? So she says, we got a 1 year to start our big plan. And then when it cuts to her in the present, the baby is the same size.
Yeah, it's still a baby.
It's still a baby, and it's been a year. It's not a 1-year-old. It's still a baby.
That's odd.
Which means that it either doesn't.
No.
What
it means is that they're morons.
That's true.
I watched Once Upon a Time. But I couldn't get past the stinky cheese acting. Yeah, well, don't watch this episode. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I slandered your name. I should have slandered your husband's name. I should have known it was David that made you watch it. The first season was rocking. It went off the rails, trying too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Sword in the Pen. Thanks for tuning in, man. Lady. Oh, shoot. Time lady. Sorry. As a father of a toddler, I should know. that every kiss on a baby's cheek is a wish come true. That's okay. All right. I thought you were making a joke, and you went and were super
Awesome.
earnest. So thanks for that. Most of the writers think babies are mythological creatures. I cannot understand, for the life of me, I cannot understand why Doctor Who is a fantasy show now instead of a sci-fi. It does not compute. It's bizarre. It makes no sense. Every episode is about magic. This episode is literally about magic. The episode is called Wish World. And the plot of the episode is nonsense. The bad guy from 3 episodes back, the YouTuber bad guy.
Yeah.
The Ronnie gives him the wishing baby, and he creates an entire world out of wishes, but it's his version of the world. It's his MAGA white supremacist perfect world. And everyone's living a lie. But it's really unclear if this is a fake world or if he's turned the earth into this world, because they keep saying, you created us out of nothing and now you're going to kill us all. You're going to sacrifice us. But you're like, but did he just create a wish world, or did he turn the world into his wish? It's very unclear, very inconsistent. They keep jumping back and forth between the two. And his nightmare, it's so funny. His nightmare dystopia is like a great place to live in.
Yeah.
The streets are clean. There's no crime.
Wow.
and he's so racist. His downfall is that he's so bigoted that because he doesn't see disabled people, that he's incapable of seeing them. So they're invisible to him. So there's a homeless camp of disabled people, and they say, look,
wow.
we're all the disabled, and it's got the unit lady in her wheelchair. And Ruby Sunday is also disabled, apparently, because she can see them. She's the only one that can see them, and no one else. She's like, you guys walk by us every day and you don't notice us because he doesn't, because he's so bigoted. He doesn't like disabled people. They couldn't even, they couldn't even go for gold. And just have it, and make it about actual racism, like all the black people, like you can't see black color, so they don't exist. Instead,
this was the first episode that didn't...
He's such a racist bigot that he doesn't see physically disabled people. That's it. That's who he excludes from his perfect world. And it's hilarious because they walk through the camp, and they're like, "This is the home of the disabled people that don't exist to the god of our world." They call him their god. And they walk by a tranny, implying that they're disabled.
What? Well, based?
Got a point there.
Wow.
And also Ruby Sunday is apparently retarded. So it's such a dumb show. It's such a horribly dumb show. And the other stupid inconsistency is like Ruby Sunday is slowly remembering the doctor. Oh, the doctor. Except that on TV, Charles, this is only going to make sense to you because you've read it. The racist, the YouTuber guy, he's broadcasting 24/7 telling stories of the doctor. The doctor did this in ancient past. The doctor did this. He's just telling the doctor's story. It hasn't, because it's a 2-parter, it hasn't explained why that's important, but apparently it was. So the part of this,
because apparently
this dystopia,
their plan,
the dystopia that exists is everyone's married with kids and everyone has a nuclear family and they go to work and they come home and their wives love them. That's his horror. Okay. And so the doctor is married to Belinda Chandra and they have a kid. And they have
the same baby kid from the Space Babies. It's the same child.
It's the same kid from Space Babies, yes. I never thought that Chudigatwa was a good actor, but he kisses a lady in this episode and I believed it. So
I did not believe it.
That was a joke. It was bad.
Oh.
It was not believable at all.
Okay.
Christopher Eccleston. I get a lot of people saying Eccleston was their favorite Doctor. For me, it's Matt Smith. It'll always be Matt Smith for me.
I forget. Chris Eccleston was the one before.
First one.
The first one. He was good. He was
the reboot. He only got one season. Robbed. Well, he quit. It wasn't his fault. It was his fault that he only got one season. He left because he didn't like Russell T Davies.
Wonder why.
Now we know why. Tom Baker's the GOAT. Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that up, Mark Clark, of course. Chudy kissed a girl and he liked it. He done.
Although, it was weird.
I need to go. I've watched a lot of the old stuff. I've never watched all of them. I need to go back and watch all of the old Doctor Who's. Okay. The point of the story was horror dystopia where nuclear family is important. Ruby Sunday she starts seeing through the cracks, and she goes to the disabled people. Okay, and everyone goes to work, goes home, and they're loved. And there are weird skeleton giants that walk through the city. For some reason,
which is never explained,
never brought up, never explained what they are. It's just part of Wish World. There's these giant skeletons that walk around. Maybe it'll be explained in the next episode. I don't think so. I doubt it will.
Yeah, I doubt it.
And also there's a bone tower, and that's where the bad guy lives, the Ronnie and the YouTuber and the baby. So the other constant is on every street in every place. The YouTuber is constantly broadcasting 24/7, telling stories of the Doctor. And then Ruby Sunday finds the disabled people, and she says, well, so how come you found us? She's like, well, I just started thinking. There was this man. He was called the Doctor. And they're like, oh, who's that?
Yeah.
When, the only thing that they've established in this world is that the guy is constantly 24/7 telling people about the Doctor. And it's not even... There's not even a throwaway line with, oh, you mean the guy that the TV god, our Lord and Savior, is always talking about on TV?
Yeah,
they don't even mention it. It's so stupid. The world building is so lazy. They're just like, oh, this is going to be quirky and fun, this dystopia, and yet they don't explain any of it. And so it's just there. It's just rubbish that's there. And the other thing is, whenever you have doubts, you'll get arrested by the thought police. So if you see through the lies, then you'll get arrested, and your mug will fall to the ground and crack. It'll fall through the table and crack. And so every time you doubt, but then it turns out that that's actually her plan, is that she wants people to doubt because doubts are powerful, and if a regular person's doubt can shatter their worldview, a Time Lord's doubt can shatter reality. And so her whole plan was to get a YouTuber to create an entire world of wishes so that the Doctor would forget who he was and then remember who he was, and that will break time and space apart. That's the plot. Okay. And her goal is to get underneath time and space, because that's where Omega is. He is the first Time Lord. That's the plot of this episode.
Wow.
It's retarded.
It's asinine.
That's insane.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It's just complete nonsense. I hated this episode. Did you have anything else to add? What did I forget? I forgot. The best part of the episode is the Doctor goes to work, because he's got a 9 to 5, and he's talking to his coworker, and his coworker wants to, because it's the guys from Unit, it's the lady leader of Unit, and her head of security. They've always been making eyes at each other this whole season, like, oh, they're romantic. They stay late after work and kiss, and so they've forgotten who they are. So she's the secretary who brings everyone their coffee, and he is the doc. He sits next to the Doctor at work. And so he's like, you should ask her out. And she's like, what would I say? Well, just say you want to spend time together. And he's like, but she won't say, what am I supposed to ask her to do? Hang out with me? She'll say no. And the Doctor says, that's nonsense. You're a beautiful man. Of course she'll say yes. And he goes, but you're a man. How can you think that I'm beautiful? You're not a fag or something, are you? And it's like, dun, dun, dun! Oh no! I've been outed as one of the gays! And
That's hilarious. Oh
and then
my
his
God.
mug, because he's having, he's like, no, I didn't mean it that way. I'm not a gay boy. I didn't mean it. And then his mug falls through the table. Oh, sorry. And then everyone forgets about it because he had doubt. It's like, it's genuinely hilarious.
Wow.
I was laughing my head off, and it wasn't intentionally funny.
That's nuts.
I haven't seen the movie. I need to see it. That's one of those.
Yeah. I have a whole bunch of old, not complete chunks, but I have like a DVD.
Well, there are some episodes you can't get.
Right.
They're unavailable.
Primarily from the second Doctor, I think.
The only way to get them is pirating.
Well, they still have the audio for all of them, but they don't have the video. They just found another chunk. But anyway, I have like a DVD of all the different Doctors up to there, but it's just some random story in the middle. So I need to watch some of the old stuff.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Anything else to say about Doctor Who?
Nope.
Okay,
It was bad.
David, did you know The Last of Us is going to need 4 seasons to tell the story of the second game?
What? Are they doing?
I don't care. I'm not watching it.
What?
I don't care.
It's not getting a season 3. There's no way. This show has fallen off the end of the earth. No one is watching it anymore.
But what would that even look like? Because they, okay.
It kind of feels like they're covering the whole second game this season.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure. I don't know. Maybe because the second game feels pretty long because you play as Ellie searching for Abby, and then you have a huge section where you play as Abby. So maybe like one whole season is just Ellie. The next season is just Abby.
The entire season is a prequel?
I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past them.
Anyway, look forward to that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Sometimes you gotta. Sometimes X really does give it to you. So, this is great. You remember these ads?
Yeah.
So good. Dina could not consent. Ellie is a sexual predator. Bravo.
Yep. Base.
Bravo. Great meme. Fantastic meme. And here's a meme.
Oh no.
Look. He was a bad guy. Harvey Weinstein. Okay.
But the trains were on time, man.
He kept out the Bella Ramseys. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't the villain we need. He wasn't the villain that we want. He wasn't the villain that we wanted.
Wow.
He was the villain we needed. It's absolutely crazy that he was the one that took the fall for all of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Doing what he did. And
yeah,
I'm sure that he took advantage of lots of women, but there were also lots of women who took advantage of what he was offering, who've admitted to doing that. Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
And the other one who I always get mixed up with Meryl Streep. They've both said, yeah, we banged Harvey Weinstein so we could get jobs.
Yeah.
So that's all the news. Ding dong, the witch is dead. The wheel of time, the wicked time. So happy. Anyway.
All right. Well, I haven't done any of my homework, so I'm gonna bow out and watch the fourth. If possible.
Yeah, go. That's a good one. The fourth one is real good. That one's I forget his name, but that's directed by the guy who did the Iron Giant.
Oh, okay.
And they wanted him to come back and do the fifth movie, but scheduling, he couldn't do it, and so from the 5th movie on, they've had the same director.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise is like, oh, we've developed a rapport, so I just use him all the time.
Yeah.
But 4 is really good. That's a Rogue Nation?
4 is Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol. It's Ghost Protocol. I was wrong. I knew it was wrong. That one's fun. I think that's the first one you get Jeremy Renner. Maybe he's not in that one. No, I'm pretty sure. Because that's the one with the Burj Khalifa. And yeah, Jeremy Renner's in that one. That was the one thing I was hoping they could get Jeremy Renner back for this last movie, but he got hit by a freaking truck. So, yeah. And they were talking about bringing him back too, and
that sucks.
Yeah.
Did you see Marvel screwed him too? They offered him. They were like, hey, let's do another season of Hawkeye, but we're only going to give you half the money.
Yeah, that's
because you're half the man you used to be.
Yeah, and he called them out on it, didn't he?
Yeah,
he
was pissed. Retarded. He was super pissed. They're like, look, you can't do the stunts that you used to be able to do, so we're only going to give you half the salary. Screw you, Jeremy Renner. That's what they said to him.
Yeah.
What's a pina? A pina is a pineapple. There's something I said on Twitter. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, man.
Rejoice about the Wheel of Time.
Well, we're mostly done. I think.
Did we already talk about Murderbot?
Well,
about what?
Murderbot?
No, we haven't talked about Murderbot yet, but David hasn't done it.
You haven't done
Do you guys want to talk about
rehearsal?
Okay. I did see this though. The actress for Dina, or it was the face model for the game. She was watching the show and tearing it apart. She's like, why have they made Ellie retarded? Like she was smart. She was actually top of her class in the games, right? And in the show, she's acting like, I don't know how to read good. And you're like it's a plot point in the show. It's bizarre. Huh. So yeah, I saw that. Someone tagged that on Twitter for me, and I was laughing about that.
Crazy.
He was on Rogan. Who are we talking about here? Jeremy Renner. Okay. It was a good interview. Gotcha. I just got a note. What the Xbox just took over my whole screen. I don't even have that application open, and it sent me a pop-up notification on my desktop. All right, time to play with my settings and completely remove that from my computer because I don't have an Xbox. Sometimes I hate technology.
Yeah. I think it might be required for Minecraft or something though.
Yeah, but that's what the other computer's for. So my kid can play Minecraft.
There you go. I forgot you got
that
one computer for that. All right. Good night.
See you, David.
See you, David. Good night.
Twas a good interview. Yeah. Okay. So what were you asking, Jared?
About Murderbot.
Yeah. So we got Murderbot. They're still talking about, and
the rehearsal. If you want to talk about The Last of Us.
The rehearsal was great. There's not a lot to talk about for this episode of the rehearsal. It's clearly like getting ready for the finale. Like this wasn't the best episode. It was funny.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was very funny, but it was clearly like it's setting up a punchline for the finale. For sure. And I have no idea what the punchline is, and I'm terrified. I'm shaking my boots. But I loved that he convinced people that he's autistic.
I love that. That was a great bit because he was taking the test and he was failing the test
on purpose. He's such a good actor.
Yes, but I just love it because he's like, oh my goodness,
absolutely hilarious. This is a hard test.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, okay, I could see that.
And Charles can give us a Last of Us update if he wants to, but I haven't watched that crap. So yeah, let's talk about the rehearsal's hilarious. One more episode of that. I can't wait for it. Terrified. But yeah, Murderbot episode 3. What do we think?
Yeah, let's talk about Murderbot episode 3 first.
I know what you guys thought about the first two. So
It's pretty it's pretty book accurate. They've embellished a few things, but plot wise, it's sticking exactly to the book. I think they might be merging some characters from the second. I think because in the first book he protects this group of scientists, and in the second book it's a different group of scientists. I think that they're squishing those together, and it's going to be the same characters for the first and second book. That's just from a few things that they've embellished about these characters. I think they're going to carry over into the next book.
That might make sense.
But for how much, I originally thought they were going to do the first 2 books for this season, but the episodes are so short and how much ground they've covered. I think it's just book 1 this season. And that's okay. That's a good stopping point. They easily could have gone to book 2, but they didn't. I think this second week, the third episode, because they started with 2, has really cemented in my mind the fact that these episodes are too short.
Yes.
I don't think the 20-minute episode works. And it was okay last week because they dropped 2 of them. And so it felt like a 40-minute episode. This third episode, none of it's bad, but
way too short.
Nothing happens. They take a plane to a location, and that's it. That's they talk.
He fights with one
so
other murder bot,
the,
and then he's like,
the problem is this episode is 100% setup, and the next episode is going to be is going to be the payoff. It'd be nice to have those in the same episode. Like, I think a 40-minute episode would be better.
Yeah.
Because I think the first 2 worked fine as one episode. And I think this one and the next episode, I was surprised that they were taking so long talking, because it was like, you got to get to the action at the end of, I know it was coming. You got to get to the action scene. And they give you a teeny action scene at the end of this episode, but like, I thought we were going to get the whole base exploration thing. And, it's so short. If it was entertaining, but it also feels like nothing happened, because I mean, not a lot did happen. It was people talking and then one punch, and that was it.
I agree. Yeah. Like, generally, I would say that it's not like it's a bad thing to have short, quick weekly episodes. I mean, we grew up on stuff like that all the time, right? Like that's just kind of how it happens. But I think what we watched earlier is it was
Mark
like
agrees.
There was usually a full arc in those short episodes, whereas this one, it's trying to leave you on a cliffhanger, and you're like, okay, yeah, you left me on a cliffhanger, but nothing, like you said, like
there's nothing wrong with a cliffhanger. The problem is nothing else happened. It was literally just one conversation. Or it was just people talking and then a cliffhanger. So
so there was no arc or anything. There was no development. It literally was just like,
and none of it's bad. I agree with Mark. I think the length is. I think the format, I think, is the only complaint. Like, it's all good stuff. It's just the structure of the TV show. These should be 40-minute episodes.
Yes, I would 100% agree. It's a good show. I'm liking it. I really enjoy.
It's going to be really short. There's 10 episodes, and they're 20-minute episodes each. If you cut that down, it would be a five episode TV show of 40 minutes. I think they could have stretched it out a little bit, but I think if you're just doing book 1, 5 40-minute episodes is about as long as you could stretch book 1. Because I think it's like a 3-hour book, but obviously with visuals and stuff, that it takes time. See, that's why I thought they were doing the first 2 books, right? Because they're so short.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you could easily knock out the first book in maybe like 4 episodes of television, but I was expecting longer episodes.
Yeah.
So maybe they chose 20-minute episodes because they're only doing book 1 and they want to stretch it out. But I still feel like it doesn't work as well as it could because of what we've already discussed. But would it be better if it was a tiny season, right? If it was only because we've also complained about TV shows only having 5 episodes or 6 episodes and then you're done.
Yeah.
But
I think the better option is to drag it out. This is a situation where adding your own content wouldn't be bad if it's, of course, it's good content.
Well, but that's the thing. They don't need to add their own. They've got 2 books. Like Alan's saying, they could have just done more than one.
They could have.
I get, budgetary reasons. You don't want to. I think I would prefer a 5 episode season to this 10 episodes, but they're too short. And that's bizarre. I hate that I'm saying that, but I think it would be a better format.
I still prefer 10, but I think they should be longer.
But you like the show though, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Great.
It's and part of the length plays into it a little bit, right? Where it's like, okay, you start to kind of see
Skarsgård's great,
and then all of a sudden it's over, and you're like, oh shoot, like
yeah,
okay, but like I think it's definitely interesting. They've had some interesting visuals and cinematic sort of ways of telling the story.
I think they've done
I've never read the books or heard of the books, so I definitely have nothing to compare.
You could knock them out in a day. They're the first 5 or 4 books are novellas.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's definitely good. The narration's really fun. Where literally, the one thing
his constant interjections where you get his inner model, like, hey, he probably thinks this. I think this is retarded, right? His one-liners are fantastic. Him seeing the thruple and think, I want to puke, like, oh, so good. Like it's
a lot of stuff like that. He's like,
it's great.
Eye contact. Oh no, eye contact.
Skarsgård is definitely the best part of the show. All the human characters are ancillary, and that's kind of the point.
Ancillary?
They're not important to the plot, and he doesn't care about them, and the audience doesn't really care about them either. And that's kind of the point of the series, is
just short.
He hates humanity.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's
he's playing against type 2, and he's doing a good job. He's doing a really good job.
I agree. Yeah, I've appreciated the actor. It's kind of weird to see a bunch of cameos and stuff like that, where he's just watching TV shows.
That's the fun part. Yeah. I love that they've embellished that the Sanctuary Moon stuff is. It's funny. It's good, and how he keeps pulling stuff from the TV show,
oh well, this is what they did in the third episode.
I wonder why he's doing that. He's like, oh, I just copied it from my TV show. I saw someone do it there, so that's why I did it. It's really fun. The actual TV show itself is really funny too. His performance is great. I don't really care about any of the other humans, and I don't mind that I don't care about them because it's kind of the whole point of the show. Yeah. The guy smelling her bed sheets is pretty weird. It's pretty weird. I thought he was just being
he acknowledges
but he's kind of a creep. And you mentioned the visuals. I think they've done a really good job of making this planet look alien minimalistically. They're just walking through a forest. It's literally just a forest, and they added a few little bubble plants, and you're like, "Oh, this looks like an alien planet."
Yeah,
but it's familiar too. They throw a couple things on set, and you're like, "Hey, that's enough to say hey, this isn't Earth, but it's also familiar." I think the sets look really good, and you can tell hey, they're using their money wisely. It's a very smart. It is an intelligently produced show.
For sure.
So, Sanctuary Moon is funny. Yeah. I'm liking it.
It's been fun.
I liked the first book. I think the second book is better. I loved the second book. And so maybe that part of me was just hoping that they did both books because I liked book 2 so much. But they're probably just doing book 1. and that's fine, and I'm okay with that. Just make it good, and the next season make the episodes longer. Okay, just do that.
Problem is, though, once you start something like this, you kind of got to carry it through now because that's kind of what they're expecting.
You can change the episode length. No one would complain. Oh no, season 2, the episodes are longer. I'm out. That's it for me. Like,
Yeah.
It is an archaic thing anyway. Episode length, right? No one cares about actual broadcast television anymore. The reason why we had 20-minute episodes is so that you could have 10 minutes of commercials and it would fit into a half-hour time slot. And we had 40-minute episodes because you could have 20 minutes of trailers and commercials and it would fit into an hour time slot.
Yeah.
With streaming, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
you could have a 22-minute episode or a 25-minute episode. It's okay, baby. Excuse me.
I mean, sometimes I think it gets overboard nowadays because the Stranger Things, the new season, each episode is going to be the length of a movie.
Right.
And I think that might be too much.
Uh-huh.
But I completely agree. You know, it doesn't have to be the conventional 20 or 40 minutes anymore.
Max, let's go, boy. Why can't I pull it up? Hold on, there's a lag. I read the... There we go. Let's go, boys. Wheel of Time canceled. I assume that's what we're celebrating. We already did our celebrations, and now we're talking about other stuff, but screw the Wheel of Time TV show, baby. About anything else to say? It's fun. I like it. I'm enjoying it.
It's fun. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just good.
All right.
Yeah.
Someone asked Charles. Someone asked us a question about The Last of Us.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know the answer because I have not played it.
About
the theater scene.
The theater scene.
I don't know if that's a good scene or a bad scene.
Wait.
I assume if it's in The Last of Us Part 2, it's a bad scene.
Do you think we'll get the theater scene tomorrow? So I don't remember the second game because I wasn't liking it, so I didn't really pay attention to most of the story. I checked out pretty early. I don't remember the theater scene, so I apologize.
How many episodes are left of this garbage? Just one? Oh, there's only one more episode.
Yeah. This is
Oh, then yes, they are definitely... Next season is just going to be about Abby. 100%.
Yeah,
so how far does that... The theater scene, how far is that into the second game? Is it like halfway through?
Is the theater scene when they...
know they're getting a third season, and now they're saying, maybe we need 4 to tell the full story.
The theater scene might be when they encounter Abby, if I remember.
It's 2/3. Well, yeah, you can't end this season with them not catching up to Abby.
Yeah.
That would be stupid. 2/3 of the game? Okay.
That's if I am remembering correctly.
Well, it's going to take 2 more seasons to tell the other third of the game.
I don't know. I kind of feel like they're not going to catch up to Abby this season.
That would be dumb.
I think they will.
Yep. With
I don't know.
T. I don't know what these are. I don't care. I stopped watching a long time ago, and I haven't played the games because it's dumb and gay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bad. Man. I kept putting off watching the show because I didn't want to watch it. But this episode was, I almost want to say, better than the others. It was just a big old time lapse, flashback episode. The whole episode was flashback, and it was kind of sweet. There were some sweet moments.
Oh, because they bring back Joel, right?
Yeah. So it goes back in time. It shows Ellie's birthdays and how Joel is spending the birthdays. The first birthday, he takes her out to this museum, going to the space thing. It's fantastic birthday. They go to the museum. They pretend that they're in the spaceship, the Apollo 16, Apollo 11.
Sounds
spaceship.
Boring.
I guess you can see it's boring. I thought it was kind of sweet because I remember the relationship between them in the games, and I don't know. It was annoying because it had Bella Ramsey as the actress, but it wasn't awful.
This episode, I actually thought she did okay. She did better, kind of embracing, or not embracing, but envisioning. No, not envisioning. Portraying. That sort of joy that Ellie did in those scenes as well. Like I think she did a lot better in this episode.
Yeah, and that could be why the episode wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. But basically, it just went through each year, and it showed what he did for each birthday, and then eventually, he walks in on her kissing a girl, and he's like, "What? You're gay?" And he flips out because she's also.
And the doctor
she's
shows
also
up.
getting.
The doctor shows up. You're not one of those fags, are you?
And he also gets mad
that was
because
literally
she's getting
a scene
tattoo.
in this episode of Doctor Who, man.
Shoot.
It was so bad in Doctor Who. Oh my goodness. Anyways, in this show is kind of all right. I don't know. And then it goes to the scene before Joel gets killed.
We'll stay and raise the kid. Or go out for Rebecca's.
Well, okay.
Because she's the father. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. She doesn't though. I don't want to give it any spoilers.
New content with Eugene was good. Joe, I don't know.
Eugene. I don't remember.
Yeah. The husband.
All of
how they killed the husband.
Oh,
Ellie has no
yeah. I thought that was really
it explained.
It shows why Joel killed the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because
the guy he was bit. No, because he was bit while he was out on a raid, and Joel was like, "All right, well, we got to kill you because you're bit." And he's like, "Please, no, I have time. Let me see my wife before I die." And he promises, "Oh yeah, we'll let you see your wife." But then he kills him when his back is turned, and Ellie realizes that he lied to him so easily, and he had the same face, and she's like, "Oh wait, you lied to me about the fireflies as well." And then he confesses, and yeah. It was interesting.
So he has already told her about the. That's
so
stupid. I don't care.
So the end of the episode is him confessing,
that he murdered everybody.
Yeah, and then later on, after the dance when he defends her gayism, and then she goes and meets him while he's playing the guitar, and she forgives him and is like, "Hey, yeah, I can forgive you."
Well, she wants.
And it was a sweet. Yeah, it was a sweet moment, she was coming together, and it was sweet. And then to have that follow up with his death, I get it, it puts some emotional, I don't know the word I'm trying to look for, but it almost made me care about the relationship. It almost made me care about the show, if it weren't dumb everywhere else. So this episode was kind of good.
Well, yeah, I really actually appreciated how they told that and showed that Ellie started to realize, right, where she's like, "Hey, the same look you gave me was that look where you said, hey, I promise that I'm not going to kill him,' and then he ends up killing him." Because I think that it ultimately shows how heartless he has become to save the people around him and that he cares about, right? And I think there's definitely something to be said.
Amanda says he was starting to turn in that scene when he gets killed.
Well, I don't know if that's entirely accurate though. It didn't actually show him starting to turn at all. They had the test where he basically had to hold his hand out, and
he was getting cold and foggy brained.
So maybe, but the fact of the matter is I think that they didn't give him a chance, right? They could easily just shoot him on the trail, right? If he does start to turn more apparent, and show more of those signs while they're actually going down or going back to the thing, they could have easily shot him on the trail, right? And then that makes that not a problem at all, because it's hey, we were trying to bring him back. That was his last wish. He just wanted to say good, he just wanted to see you one last time.
Wish?
But he lies in front of the wife.
So Doctor Who was in this episode.
He lies right in front of the wife, when they first come and show her the body. He says immediately, he was bitten. We had to shoot him immediately. He asked us to shoot him immediately, and he said that he wanted to, he wanted me to tell you his last words rather than tell him himself. And then Ellie called him out and said, "That's not what happened, you liar."
Yeah, and I actually thought that was a good move on her point, because it goes. I mean, I think there's a point that, yes, sometimes in those situations it's important to maybe skirt away from the truth and maybe not tell it all. But
I tell my wife she's fat if she asks.
I was gonna say,
lying is one of the commandments.
Being honest and
thou
truthful.
shalt not bear false witness, Jared.
Exactly.
I want to go to heaven. If my wife is wearing a dress and she asks me if she looks fat, I will say yes.
Yeah, like that's the thing. But there's a lot of people, especially in this circumstance, right, where I think there's these emotional boundaries that people put up because they're so tired of getting hurt or whatnot, right? Like, this could probably happen all the time, where you skirt the truth because you're trying to protect someone, trying to help them, overcome all of the loss that they're dealing with, right? Like, I get why in this circumstance they may feel like that's a need, but I completely agree with Ellie. It's like, look, he messed up, and you need to know that he messed up, because that's more important than skirting around your feelings. You need to know what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yeah,
and I think for Joel and his character, I kind of think it was important for him to have that happen as well, because he's like, look, I can't always do this. That's a defense mechanism that he started to use, right? And he started to see that it was successful. That's the part about pathological liars, right? They
defense.
do it. What?
You're saying I shouldn't call my wife fat?
Dude, I'm not going to get in the way of that, because that's between you and your wife. I'm going to let you two decide how you want to do that.
I mean, there's a lot between us if we're both fat.
She's not.
I'm just saying, though, that pathological liar.
She looks fat.
Once a pathological liar sees that lying will
I am absolutely
the
the fatty in our relationship. Okay.
Yeah, I agree, Jared.
Once they see that it works, that's why they keep doing it. Is because they're like, oh, I can just lie and it'll fix all my problems. No one has to know. I just keep lying, and that's why they do it, right? And
absolutely.
So it's
absolutely.
Why keep lying when you can just tell the truth, be honest with each other, talk about it, whatever. And knowing the truth is often way better than having this false hope or false sense of security when it's not there.
They renewed it for a season 3. No, it's fine. It's fine. They already renewed it for a season 3 the first week of the show, because I think the first episode had a lot of views. And so they announced, hey, it's renewed. Doesn't mean they can't say, it's unrenewed, right? But yeah, it's lost a lot of viewership.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So I am willing to go as far as to say that this was a good episode. Writing-wise, pace-wise, it was good. They started off the episode with a thematic concept where a dad is trying to tell his kid that he hopes his kid would be better, and it has a connection with one of the characters. I thought it was a little out of the blue because it was no character that we cared about, but it ended the episode in a similar kind of message where Joel is just hoping that Ellie would be better than him, and I thought it was good. The pacing was okay. Yeah, the casting is still really bad, but this was a good episode amongst other episodes that are really bad. But this episode was good.
So I think we're just now getting to its Nielsen charting. Let's see. When was the first episode?
I forget.
Well, and you
the 13th of April. So Nielsen ratings right now are on the 20th. So they're on the week 2, the second episode, and it's charting. It's number 3 on Nielsen ratings. It's got almost 1,000 million minutes viewed. It's at 900 minutes viewed. 900,000. Sorry, 900,000. 900 million minutes viewed. And Wheel of Time was by the end of this season it was at like 300. But this is week 2, so next week is going to be the tell of like, hey, Joel died. Are we still watching the show? So it started off pretty decent. 900 million is not a horrible rating. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's beating Bluey. Okay, if you're beating Bluey, you're doing good. Bluey's at 862. Like that, honestly, like that's a benchmark. Like
that's so funny.
but Bluey is permanently on the Nelson's top 10. Like,
yeah,
I don't think it's left since it started streaming on Disney Plus. I think it's always been on Nelson top 10 because kids love it and they just watch it nonstop. So that's a cash cow. It's Disney's best show and they didn't make it. They're just the distributor. Screw Disney. So.
It's happened a lot lately.
Do you think we ever get the Rat King? Is this our Last of Us? Don't know.
I don't remember.
We just lost everybody at the same time.
Oh, also, this episode, they also brought in the whole spores thing that I brought up last time.
Oh, yeah? Cool. I don't care.
Where, like, literally they had her and Ellie and the other girl, they ran down in the basement where all the spores had been devouring them. And she's like, oh, yeah, I've killed us both or whatever. And Ellie's like, oh, have you? Right. And I was like, that's how it should have been from the first. Like, this whole airborne thing should have been involved from the very beginning. Like, it's kind of ridiculous that it's just now being developed, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was in the previous episode, not this week. And I would disagree with you, Jared.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That was last week.
But I think it is. I don't know. I like it being in this season. I also didn't watch the first season, so you know, there's that. But I think they don't have much going for this season because Joel was possibly the only good character. Now they have just Ellie, and she's annoying. So the only thing they have to include the spores, which is this new threat.
So in the game, they had to wear like gas masks and stuff to get through spore infections.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spores were there from the beginning.
I was going to say, is that going to present a problem? Because I thought since it hasn't been a thing, I assumed in the game that it was spread by spores, and then the only survivors, because it's been years since it started, are the people who are immune to the spores. But that's not the case.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But the thing is,
I would know the answer to this if they had introduced spores in season 1, but I didn't.
No one's going to have gas masks. You know how easy it is to find a gas mask? Yeah, no one's going to be able to find a freaking gas mask
after all this
time. Everyone's
time.
freaking screwed.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But I don't know. So I'm not opposed to it.
That does create a big problem. Now because it's been like 10 years since the outbreak, and now they're just developing.
More than 10.
So I guess it's in the game. It's implied that the people who made it through are the ones who found gas masks, and now it's a necessity. But if you didn't start with that already, and you've already decimated the population, then that sucks. Yeah, you're all dead. You're all dead.
That's a good.
Right, like
that's a big plot hole. I mean, this show has been rife with plot holes, but how did an entire army of zombies get trapped under the ice? It makes no sense.
They have them. They have, in the comment they say, "Hey, just raid a store," but like no one's gonna need to raid no one's gonna raid a store because they don't know that that's important yet.
And the stores have all been raided.
A lot
there
of
is nothing useful in the stores anymore.
Raided the gas mask because they didn't know that needed to be raided, right? So like,
fair enough, I guess.
But still, like, no one's gonna do that right now because it's just being developed, right? And there's no news that's saying, "Hey, watch out, it's in the spores." So really, it's just the guys that have it down in the basement that know that anything like that's even developing. So everyone's just gonna die now because it's in the air, even though they've been surviving the whole time. Like, it's...
Yes, Amanda, you're correct. They have no chemistry in the show.
I think
they're different. I think they have different.
You guys want to see something funny?
I think they're pretty good with separating the personalities, Amanda. But I agree that they have no chemistry whatsoever.
We got some cope going on. If you want to see absolute just meltdowns, go check out this Twitter account. Don't harass. Just read the tweets, okay? They canceled The Wheel of Time, a series rich with heart, talent, and epic storytelling. Fans on X and TikTok, let's make noise. Let's make it viral. Show Sony we're not done. Help bring it back. You didn't make it viral when the show was airing. You didn't watch the show. It's your fault. This show was made for you guys and you didn't show up. Like you personally did. But it's so bad. Y'all didn't even like it. So.
Yeah.
The Last of Us, yeah.
There's a reason why it's not going to be continuing, so.
Yeah, abysmal viewership. So.
Mark Clark's just being too darn facetious, I guess. We're taking him too darn literal now.
Oh, you didn't already.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, anything else to say? You guys can keep talking. I just don't have anything to add because I didn't watch the garbage.
I don't know. I agree with Charles. I think this was a good episode. I'm interested to see where they're going with it on the season finale, though. And I think the thing that I appreciate with The Last of Us is that they stay pretty accurate to the books for the most part. I'm not the books to the
game
show. I mean the game, right? Like a lot of this is very similar to how it worked out in the games. There are some changes. It's not 100%, but like they do capture a lot of that story at least, which I appreciate from this particular show.
Yeah, I think story-wise, the changes that they have made, I have enjoyed more. I guess I'm still on the fence about the spores. It is a pretty big plot hole, but other things like that I have enjoyed more than the games. However, the characters have just been a horrible adaptation, and it does not. Yes, the story is pretty accurate to the games, but that does not justify the horrible character adaptations.
Yeah, I agree. The actors may not be the best. I think Joel. I mean, I think Pedro Pascal does a decent job at playing Joel, but I'm not a huge fan of Bella Ramsey, but
he does a decent job.
Still pretty.
Dina does a good job as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Bella Ramsey is the Achilles heel of the show. She ruined it. She is the reason that this show. It could be an all right show. It could be like I would watch it and I'll enjoy it if it was not for her or her writing, whoever's at fault, her writing or her acting. One of those are that is the worst part of the whole show, and it ruined everything.
You guys want to see something funny?
Sure.
The reason that the show was canceled.
I don't remember the difference, Amanda. Sorry.
The reason that Wheel of Time got canceled was because of Trump's tariffs.
What? because there's tariffs on the streaming services?
No. Well, he is putting tariffs on shows on TV and movies being made outside of the United States. That was something he announced, yeah.
Oh. Actually. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, now you know. The show was canceled because of tariffs. Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Another win. Hey, another win from the Orange Man, baby.
Yes. The wins just keep coming. I'm tired. I'm getting tired of winning. I'm starting to get tired. Please, no more. I can't handle it.
It's too good.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I got lots more memes. See if I can find some that I was looking at yesterday. Going through my search history.
Anyway, yeah, that's all I had to say.
Yeah, I think that's all there is to say. I don't think I have anything else to add. We'll see how the spores pan out because I guess the spores would not be a huge plot hole if it was not as because in the games it's everywhere. You know, every other half of the locations there have spores. Okay, maybe that's a little much, but like the spores are everywhere. Whereas if they make it a smaller thing where only small portions of it have the spores, it's only in select locations, then maybe it's not such a plot hole.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I think that's all we have to say. The show could be good. It could be decent with some plot holes that I think are minor. If it were not for the horrible character adaptations. Yeah, see, I was saying I don't remember the original scene. I don't know it all too well.
I showed this yesterday too. I wanted to show you guys. They released a bunch of VFX breakdowns for the show, and this is just how well they managed their money. I want to see if you guys spot what I spotted yesterday live.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Small screen.
Small screen. All right, it's gonna be tough for Charles. We'll give him,
some leeway.
Some leeway here. Okay, it's not in this scene. It's in the next when it cuts.
Okay,
This is what you need to pay attention to. Pay attention to this next scene.
Oh, wait.
Did you catch that?
Do you want to do it again?
The stuff's going above her head, and now it's going out of the front?
No. This is a colossal waste of money. They
redid her. Like they redid her. Why did they redo
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Her entire performance, her entire in-camera performance is replaced with a digi-double. Watch. This is the shot, the final shot.
Yeah, they made a dummy of her.
This is what's captured. Hold on. This is the final shot, VFX included. This is in camera. She's holding a little LED ball. And then they recreated her entire performance with CGI so that they could change the lighting on her face and then add channeling. In camera,
darker there.
Look, you can see her face changes. Like it's rather than keeping her performance and lighting her properly on set, they filmed her and then replaced her performance with CGI. They kept her hair though. They molded. So this is how bad they are at making movies. And this is where all of their money went. Complete idiots who don't know how to make films and say, I guess we'll just fix it in post.
Yeah.
This costs so much money to do.
Yeah.
This is why, I mean, apart from embezzlement, this is why budgets have ballooned out of proportion because we have progressed the technology has progressed so exponentially just in the last 10 years. Okay. It's crazy what we have the technology to do. Movies should be so much cheaper right now, but they're not because we've lost the skill.
Well, I don't know because for example, with this particular shot, the thing that is going to be tricky is the rays of light, right?
No, right.
Because
you can add those with proper planning on set. If you just have an extra light shining in her face.
Yes,
you can add strands.
But what I'm trying to say, Alan, is that each one of these lines is technically a different ray of light. Yeah. And they've got what they call ray tracing, right? Which you've probably heard of. which literally traces.
That's not what they're doing. No. I know what you're saying.
Right?
They're not doing ray tracing on every individual thread to calculate how it's affecting the lighting on her face.
Why is that inconceivable to think about?
That's not how ray tracing works.
What they're doing.
That's not how ray tracing works.
Yes, it is. It traces the ray from the source.
I'm a computer guy.
And how it bounces and refracts off of each of the...
That's not yes, but rate you have to choose which rays you're going to trace. They are not. Jared, yes, I know about special effects. You have to choose which rays you're going to. It doesn't automatically apply. They are not actually mapping each one of these threads to the lights on her face. There's no way that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I know, but each one of those rays is going to have a refraction, right? Each of them are going to have certain levels of illuminance that are going to light her face differently. Like they're going to have different colors that interact with her face differently. Like each one of those rays
is the same color. It's the same color.
Having a model of that, or having some sort of dummy to calculate the ray tracing.
That's not how ray tracing works. Jared,
it is.
Jared, it's not. It's not.
Yes, it is.
Jared,
at least that's
I'm
how
a computer programmer. That is not how ray tracing works.
That's how it works with the software I use.
But you can't do that in a TV show like that. You can't. You're gonna do. They're not ray tracing from each individual line.
Why not? That's how it works. Is each ray of light.
Jared, I promise you, they don't have the bandwidth to do that.
I don't know. The processing powers nowadays. That's why it's a huge thing now. Is because the processors are able to calculate that amount of traces.
They are calculating. Look, these bands are calculating how the weaves are going to look. That's not going to change anything about the lighting on her face. You could technically do that, and it would be an idiotic move to do.
I mean,
it would take the amount of processing power and the time that would take to render.
It does take longer to render.
No. It would take years to render, Jared. You cannot do that right now.
I mean, I don't know.
Jared, it would literally take a year to render this 10-second scene if you did it the way you're talking about.
I don't agree with
that.
That's not
how ray tracing works.
At all.
Jared, I know about this stuff, okay?
Well, obviously not enough, because that is not true nowadays. It would have a couple years ago, or even 10 years ago, but ray tracing is like way better than it ever was.
It is, and that's not how it works. Look, that would be an idiotic way of doing it. The best way to do it. Look. If you want to do it correctly,
see any individual colors or anything on her face, so really, it's not evident.
All you had to do was on set, have a big light shining up into her face, and like have some strings waving in front of the light so that the light is wavy. Have wavy light projected onto her face, and then literally all you would have to do is in post make some wavy lines coming out of the ball.
Yeah,
done.
I agree.
And instead, they're idiots and think that ray tracing is they replaced her performance with a digi-double, and it makes her look bad. Like, you can see her skin doesn't look like skin anymore.
Well, I think
this looks like a human. This looks like human skin. They did.
I don't think they replaced her performance.
Jared, I'm telling you, they did.
Because look,
you can see
the exact same. It's just brighter.
Yes, they copied her performance onto the digi-double, but look, the skin is different. You can see the pores here. You can see stuff that is.
You can on this one too.
No.
There too. It's just no, because
I can't see it on either because the screen is so small.
It's just more washed out because they've enhanced the. Brighter.
I promise you.
But there's more contrast in the previously one. That does not look CGI at all. That is her performance.
This is CGI.
Her hands might be though.
Her face is CGI here, Jared.
I don't think that her
Jared,
face
is CGI. They showed you that it is.
No, they show a model. That's not
Look.
saying that is her performance being replaced.
If you want to give them the most benefit of the doubt, it could be wise to create a model that matches her movements so that you can so that you can properly locate the location of the ball. Yeah. But that is not what they are doing here. They are using that data, but they're also replacing her face.
No, I do not think that's what they're
Jared,
doing.
I know about special effects, okay?
I do too.
They have replaced her entire face.
I don't think they have.
With CG. I promise you they have. It's not just lighting. They have replaced her entire face and performance with CGI. You can tell by the skin, okay?
It's just a change in lighting. That's all that is, Alan.
It's not. Look, her eyes are completely different.
Her eyes are just darker there, and now there's more light.
Okay, maybe you need to watch on your computer, and maybe it's this quality coming through on the stream. I promise you can see there is a visible difference. The footage in the camera and the model, the CGI model. If you can see what I'm looking at on my screen, the performance is different.
I totally
because it's a CGI performance.
I disagree. But it still could be costly what they're doing, obviously. And there may be a better way. I would agree with you there, but I do not agree that that's been replaced with CGI of her. No, I don't agree with that.
Okay, go look on it. Go pull it up on your computer.
Even if this specific case doesn't do it, though, Alan, your point still stands that too many showrunners just say we'll do it in post, and it makes the show worse, and it jacks up the price of the show.
Yes, you can make a model so that you can know where this light, the ball, is coming from, but they've also replaced her performance.
I don't believe they have.
I pull it up, dude. It's different.
I don't believe it. I don't believe
they've replaced the entire text. They've replaced the entire texture of her skin.
I don't think that is the case, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree. It's all right.
You can agree to be wrong.
No, see, that's where you're wrong, Alan.
Is
just
CGI
because I
skin.
disagree with you doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
I'm smarter than you.
Well, you can't both be right.
Either way, it's a massive misuse of funds.
It is.
I can let me pull up actually. Here, there's another one because it isn't okay.
I will say that that has been done in the past. Like I will give you that for sure. That has been done in the past where they completely re-CGI the actor for no apparent reason at all. Like I will give you that, but in this particular case, I don't think that's the case.
It's easier to tell in this one. Okay. There is a scene where Lan is set on fire and Moraine comes and puts him out. Okay. These aren't the final effects. Okay. This is the first pass. We're like, hey, this is where the effects are going to go. Okay. Now, so they, instead of lighting a person on fire on set, they chose to do it with CGI. Now, there are pros and cons to doing real fire and doing CGI. They both have strengths and weaknesses. The pro of using CGI fire is that you can have the actor give a real performance instead of a stuntman. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The pro of using real fire is that it will look real. The problem is these idiots
that looks awful.
Did it with CGI so that Daniel Henney could give a real performance and then replaced his performance with CGI with a digi-double. I will show you. Watch.
That part looks a little fake there.
This is not Daniel Henney.
Yeah.
This is a digi-double 3D replacement of Daniel Henney with fake fire. There was absolutely no reason they couldn't have done this on set with a stuntman. There is a point where it switches from the digi-double to his real performance.
I was going to say, I think I noticed that.
Which you also could have done with a stuntman and real fire.
Yeah.
Okay, watch. It goes digi-double,
Right
digi-double.
there.
No, it's not there. It's not there.
There.
It's
Right
when
there.
she puts the fire out.
Yeah.
Once the fire is out, it turns into real Daniel Henney. You can see it much better on my screen.
I've got a pretty good screen too.
I know, but it's being broadcast. I'm saying you're losing.
That's true.
I'm just letting you know.
This definitely
it's
does
even
look
more
like
obvious from where I'm seeing. Okay, the entire time he's on fire, it's a digi-double, which completely defeats the purpose of using a digi-double.
Yeah,
you could just
of
cut
CGI.
stuntman, put him in the same position, and do a little bit of blending, and then have his real performance, which they end up doing. They have his real performance right here for 2 seconds, okay? But they ended up with this garbage fire that the finished product didn't look much better than this anyway. It looked horrible. These people are morons, and none of them should ever work in Hollywood ever again.
Yeah, that fire doesn't look very good.
Well, that's the first pass. But yeah.
And they did the same thing in the scene with Maureen, and they replaced her face with CGI.
Okay.
They still have that same mindset of just do it in post, and it just makes the quality much worse.
It's because it's crazy because we have the technology to make greatness, but we've lost great people. We don't have great people anymore because of DEI. They're more concerned. They're more concerned about immutable characteristics and hiring people because of their ideology or their skin color than they are concerned about people who are good at their jobs.
Yep.
Well, I mean, and I think there's and Corridor Crew did a video on this where, like, I think there's definitely a push that directors, or not a push, but there's a culture where the directors don't understand how much time it takes to do good, editing and things like that. And so there's definitely a big misconnect there. Where,
no, I'm not saying that the VFX artists are doing bad. They're doing what they can, with the time constraints. I'm saying the people in charge of the show should freaking know better because we used to know better. Okay? Look at the Lord of the Rings movies. They were made how long ago? Has it been 20 years or 15? The Fellowship of the Ring.
It's probably been 20.
That was before my time.
Okay? Fellowship of the Ring, before your time. What?
I don't know. I grew up with those movies already out.
The Fellowship of the Ring came out in 2001. Okay?
That's crazy.
It was
25 years ago. It's been 25 years. No one is going to argue with me that the Fellowship of the Ring looks better than this filth.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no,
and it was made with a fraction of the budget.
Well, and just within that franchise, I mean, you can compare that with The Hobbit, right? Where literally they did so much CGI where they didn't need to.
And The Hobbit looks great. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But the CGI is dated now, and it looks kind of fake. The CGI in Lord of the Rings, I rewatch these movies at least once a year.
Yeah.
There are a handful of scenes that no longer hold up. And the rest of the movie sells. Like the effects on Gollum, like they couldn't do a better job. That's wrong. They could do a better Gollum today.
Yeah.
But they can't because they're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There are like a handful of like the group shots. You can see like, oh, there's a little bit of artifacting going on. There are a handful of shots in the, what is it, like 10 hours? So if you're going extended edition, like a handful of shots that don't quite hold up to today's standards on a fraction of the budget because Peter Jackson knew what he was doing on set.
That
and that tells you it's not the VFX artist's fault because the VFX artists back then were working with garbage. Okay, compared to what the tools. They were given great materials, and with their garbage tools, they made it look good because Peter Jackson is smart. Now we have the opposite situation where we should be looking so much better. We should blow Lord of the Rings out of the water, and we can't do it because the people in charge are nepo babies and they're morons.
Yep.
We have sacrificed quality for equality. Screw Hollywood.
For sure.
They burn and die.
I was gonna say that Pirates of the Caribbean is another show. It's a bit more, it's newer than the Lord of the Rings, but it's another show that just looks amazing.
On Davy Jones, just flawless.
Fantastic.
They fired Rafe from the Romantasy project, so there's that. Was he turning God of War into a Romantasy, or was he fired from another project that I don't know about? Or is this the one that they were talking about at Dragonsteel last year? The Gilded. Is Gilded done?
Oh, I remember you guys bringing that up.
Gilded adaptation. I keep getting stuff for the Gilded Ones. It was Gilded, right? Gilded?
I don't remember. I have no idea what it was.
Yeah, okay, it's Gilded by Marissa Mayer. I still don't get any news about. I haven't seen any news about them getting an adaptation. Gilded Books adaptation. And even after that panel, I've been Googling and I cannot find a single announcement. So she might have let it slip. Like it might have been like a bad. What is this? Nope, that's not the same thing. I've never found an announcement that was getting adapted. Probably because there hasn't been an official announcement. Like I don't think she was lying that her show has been optioned, but there's like I can't find any news about it. So, yeah, he got sloppy on. Well, and I don't even blame Jackson for that. The studio forced him to make 3 movies. He didn't want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think there was.
And they rushed him. Those were made like he's like he don't have time to prepare on set. So a lot of that stuff got fixed in post, and that wasn't his fault. That was studio interference. But yeah, what is Gilded? I don't know. It's a book by Marissa Mayer, and last year at Dragonsteel, she was on a panel talking about how her show is getting turned into a TV series by Rafe Judkins and Amazon. But I haven't been able to find it's Gilded. The sequel is called Cursed. I know nothing about it. So Marissa Mayer. Well, if there's been no news, it's probably because that didn't. Maybe he got fired from that too. Maybe I need to go to her website FAQs, and maybe she's got a section talking about adaptation. Will any of your books be turned into TV shows? I would love for this to happen. But it's out of my control at this time. Movie rights for TLC have been optioned, and a script is in the works. Fingers are tightly crossed. I don't know what TLC is. That's not Gilded. TLC is one of her other books. Her books are the TLC. What's TLC? The Lunar Chronicles. That's a trilogy. Cinderella. There's Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress, and Winter, and those are way too many books for me to read. Not that I would read any of them, but apparently there's a Cinderella book that she wrote, but that's not Gilded. That's a different thing. So TLC has been optioned, but I don't see any news about Gilded being optioned. So she probably said something she wasn't supposed to. And that was a year ago.
Wow.
We all heard that.
Yeah.
I heard it. I didn't hear what it said.
Was that Jared?
I'm trying to get rid of notifications on my phone right now. And
Was that Jared pulling?
that was Facebook, guys. Facebook's ridiculous.
Well, I didn't hear what it said.
You don't need to worry about it. Anyway, I was just gonna say though, I was gonna confirm about the Lilo and Stitch thing, and then that happened. So anyway.
Oh no!
Wow.
We gotta clip that. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to jump off, but
yeah, no, thanks for coming in. Yeah, the last of The Last of Us, Murderbot episode 4 next week. I guess more people are probably going to watch Mission Impossible. We can talk about that more in depth. I think it's worth watching. I was disappointed. I think it's still okay. It's not terrible, but
yeah, I gotta make a time to go see it.
Oh, and then it'll be the last episode of The Rehearsal as well. So
that one I'm so excited for.
I'm
excited.
Terrified. I am terrified of what's going on.
I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to end. So, and this has been such a short, like it feels like a short season. It's
the same length as it's a six episode season.
I need
it does feel shorter.
Same length as season 1.
But it does feel shorter for some reason. I'm with Jared.
Or maybe I just feel like it's not resolved yet. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I guess we'll see what happens when
Tom's stunts were awesome, but the movie was disappointing. I think it's worth watching. It's not my favorite. It's better than Mission Impossible 2, but other than that, it's probably the worst one. All right. See you guys next week.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Subscribe to the channel and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.